I mean, 'cause Craig should be able to work in here too, but I don't know.
No, just Garrick. That's all it
Yeah,
is now.
yeah. Craig has left us. Craig's over us. Apparently, he's like, no, never again will we speak.
All right, is this working?
No.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast, a show where we discuss tips, tricks, and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more. So, what makes us different, you may ask? Well, we're not streamers or YouTubers. We just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 news and information and opinions. We encourage your questions and feedback. You can contact us either by email at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com or on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. Now, on with the show.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the show. I am Nitedemon. On my left is the John Candy of the show, Peroty. And on my right, the Nicolas Cage of the show, Respawn. And somewhere in the middle, we have a guest.
Hello, guest. How do you say your name so we can stop guessing at it?
Yeah, I was gonna correct Respawn and say it is pronounced RYZNYZ.
No, it's Ryzen.
It's pronounced RYZNYZ. It is
It's
my father's old ex.
Ryzen. You know what? Hold
There's
on.
an extra Z there.
We'll fix
Yeah.
this. Hold on. Where's that thing at? Where's it at?
Don't
Where's
you
what?
dare, Respawn. Don't you dare.
Oh, it's a thing.
Don't worry, it'll take him an hour and a half to figure out how to do it, so you're pretty much safe.
All right, I'll be good.
Boom.
Welcome, RYZNYZ. So I was looking at your name going, I'm sure there's some R's and Y's and Z's in there. We'll figure it out when we get here. And
Yeah,
you can tell us.
I inherited the account from when my dad was in college, infinity and a half ago, and I haven't had the patience to change it. Plus, it's fun.
Nice.
Plus, it's kind of fun to see people attempt to pronounce it and hear them totally screw it up.
Which is why I didn't continue saying your name.
Do you also enjoy, either subscribing or following people on Twitch and just watching their brain short circuit? They're like, "Thank you, Peroty, poultry." I've been calling
when I
anything.
first heard
It's
it, when
great.
I heard parody, I thought it was the traditional way, like Parody, and then for the first time in like 100 and something episodes, I looked at the show notes and saw that I spelled it very wrong.
I'm glad it took you 100 show notes to actually look at the show notes that I do every single week.
Yeah, hearing that makes me feel really bad now.
I'm really glad we put those links in the notes, and we're like, "Hey guys,
Yep.
here's videos and information and cool websites." No, they're
Yep.
because at the end of the show, we're just gonna have Respawn read out every link, one character at a time for everyone, so they can type them into their browser in real time.
He did do that once, didn't he?
He did.
I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to mute you guys while I eat my grits. It's really just brought in, and I'm like, my mic is sensitive enough to pick up the tinks now. So,
Wait, Respawn, hold on. Did you say grits?
Oh yes.
Okay,
grits
here's the
and
question.
eggs. Let's
Okay,
get it.
yellow grits or white grits? That is a big determining factor.
Well,
Ooh.
it's yellow after I mix the eggs and the yolk together.
Good. No, okay, you know what? I can respect that. I can respect that.
I mean, it's got butter in there. That also kind of makes it a little bit yellow.
Ooh, you know
Yeah.
what? I'll take it.
Right?
I can work with that.
Bro, if I had some toast with maybe a little bit of butter on top that I could put the grits on while I eat it, yo,
Dude, yes.
game over, right?
I know.
Thank you.
Dude. Oh, now you're making me hungry. Dang it.
Right? Get a wife. Tell her to make you grits.
So, Night Team, this is what it feels like when you and Andy go back around Marmite and Vegemite, and I sit here and go,
They're the
"Sure,
opposite.
okay."
They fight over the Marmite and Vegemite. We're in
We
agreement.
don't fight. We don't fight over it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We just know that Marmite's better.
See?
Welcome back to Breakfast Chat. I am your host, Breakfast Chatter.
Right. All right, no. All right,
Are you playing and recording a podcast?
Me?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Where's our live stream? Where's the face cam of you eating the grits?
Yeah, are you live camming, streaming?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, the people want their full uncut version.
He's not,
so
is he? You're not, are you?
They can hear the
You
6
want me
hour.
to? I
hour
can
walk.
I was debating whether or not to turn it on, but if I'm being pressured, I can play some Destiny.
You made a big point of it last week that you were going to start streaming it
Yeah.
and recording the podcast. So we told the people to watch.
Okay, that stream. Okay, yeah. You're right. Hold
Yeah.
on, let me turn it on.
And I'm saying you need to take it up a level with adding the breakfast cam, because that clearly is the full Destiny pod. If you want the full raw uncut experience, they need to have the full experience of Respawn eating grits for breakfast while recording, while playing Destiny, because that is the full podcast.
That's like the
Grits
perfect
is
thing
not
to
a pretty
do on
thing.
like a Saturday morning is just the Destiny and the
Exactly.
grits. Like you cannot get better than that. It's like not physically possible.
I'm trying to come up with a name for Destiny breakfast and Destiny's grits and eggs, Respawn's grits and eggs. I don't know. There's a name there somewhere. It's escaping me.
2 TITANS BATGR.
Team wipes and face wipes. Breakfast for Respawn.
2 Titans Eat Grits with Hunter episode. What is this? 108?
109.
109?
Oh, wait, what's last week? Where you promised the people, you made a big point of streaming this for the people so they could see it all.
And I forgot, and I appreciate you looking out for me. Thank you, sir.
And keep an eye on the chat this week because you had loads of questions in that you didn't realize you were
I
getting.
did have loads of questions, and I didn't notice till it was way too late. So chat is opening. That is a twitching. That is a moving the picture. That is going to my channel.
That's
I
the
guarantee
face
there's
cam.
one guy. There's this one guy, no matter what time I stream, he's always in there, dude. And I was talking to him the other day. I'm like, he's talking to me. He goes, only a little.
So,
Yeah, I
so
was
you're,
gonna ask,
so you're
is this
the
a
bot
bot?
and he's the panoramics. Okay.
No, he's not a bot. No, he's for real not a bot. He's just like always
Okay.
there. Where the hell's my channel?
Yeah. So Respawn channel is at twitch.tv/no one respawns in real life. REALLIFE all spelled out.
Yep.
You're really messing up my intros now with that we're not Twitch streamers or YouTubers.
We're not Twitch streamers. I'm streaming the show on Twitch. That doesn't mean I'm a Twitch streamer. I have a total of, I think, 8 followers, I think.
We would
But
be
you have to
mixture
say you're not
pros.
Oh,
But
no, I've got like 130 followers. Look at that. But I only have, at any given time, I think the most people that have ever watched my show is 8. And that was during the day 1 raid. And that 8 people lasted maybe 5 minutes. Okay?
Well, Nitedemon, what you have to now say is you're not professionals because you've got the channel and Respawn streams, but you, as far as I know, you're not becoming the next laser beam. I mean, you
first
could.
of all,
I don't know.
Everybody who listens to the show knows we're not professionals. That doesn't need to be said.
Yeah, they've seen us play. They know there's nothing professional about anything that goes on here.
Mm-hmm.
That would require me to actually re-record the intros, get these guys to re-record intros. It's the same amount of effort as it is to change the logo and the title now that we've got not half.
Yeah.
It's just too much. It's just not half is just part of the furniture, and he just accepts that now. So now we've reminded Respawn of starting up his stream. We can probably now properly start the show so that people actually
Start the show.
Actually have a show to listen to eventually.
Yeah, because all that other stuff just doesn't make it in.
No, it doesn't. Until it does.
So, do you want to take us through next week of Destiny? There, Iron Demon, because really there's 3 things on this list, but really no one cares about Kaido's forces on the battleground area on Nessus. No one really cares about the Warden Servitor and the Warden of Nothing Nightfall. #Warden, #Nightfall.
Are you looking at 12 or Bungie?
And we're gonna light the fire pits. Iron Banner and Extra Valor will be live in the Crucible. That's all we care about. There is nothing else next week. There is only Iron Banner. Make Saladin proud.
Disagree.
And now sit back and relax while Nitedemon says Iron Burden 2,500 times, 1 for each. That is Iron
You got it
Burden
right
kills.
this time. You didn't take away 1,000 of his kills.
Right?
Good
I'll
job.
see you back here in 4 hours when he finishes.
Good job. Oh, Ryan's is about to get kicked already.
Yep.
Good job, Peroty. I'm so proud of you. Where's that kick button at? Anyway.
No, I'm not saying it.
All right.
You know what you get.
I was going to come back and say, well, we had to cut that out because it was just too long, and we didn't want to subject you to that. So yeah, Iron Banner's next week. So that's all you need to know. Thanks for being here. That was the show. See you next week. Goodbye.
Thanks for coming on, Ryzen.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Have fun.
I suppose we better do that other professional podcast thing of letting our guest introduce himself and
Tell us something about yourself, what you mean, and why it's an honor.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to go through my full backstory of Destiny or just what I made and stuff?
Full backstory. Birth
All
onward.
right. Okay.
from birth. Yes.
Okay. So it all started I want to say about. So before I get into this, I didn't play D1. I'm now ashamed to say that.
Shame. 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 Shame.
But
Last
I probably started. I want to say maybe 3 years ago in D2. This was back like before Curse of Osiris and everything came out. I was at a friend's house and he just happened to be playing Destiny, and I think he was on Nessus doing something, and I'm just staring there, wide eyes, open mouth, just wondering why he goes from a guy with an SMG to a guy holding a giant staff made of pure electricity. And also, Respawn, you're probably going to love this or hate this, I don't know. But this guy, he's a true friend when he is willing to personally delete one of his hunters to let me try out the game.
How many hunters did he have, and was the answer?
I think he had all 3 hunters, so
why am I mad? He's
I
clearly
don't
a
know.
big
Yep.
fan.
So he's
And a
starting
great
out.
friend.
Yeah.
I mean, good guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Give him a shout out. In case he listens.
Yeah. I don't know if he hasn't played Destiny in a while, but I want to shout out to Uncle Grandpa 19. Dude, great guy. Doesn't get better than that.
Great name, sir. Also, are you from Alabama?
No.
No, the guy. Uncle
Oh,
Grandpa.
no, he's not. But yeah, so after
We've
that,
now lost all of our Alabama listeners.
But yeah, so after that, for the longest while, I was just saving up penny by penny. I wasn't employed by then, so just penny by penny, I saved up and bought Destiny. And yeah, from there, I played, I grinded, and then I fell off the holy path for a little while until about probably last August. So for a good probably 2 years, maybe something like that, I did not play. And then the end of the world happened. By that I mean, yeah,
2020 as a thing.
Yes, that. And then I had just beaten Halo's 1, 3, and 4 campaigns because I ran out of things to do.
Why'd you skip 2?
You know what? To be honest, I don't know. My brother and our cousin like to play that game, so we just don't touch it because they get really mad at us when we mess up their progress.
Fair enough. I just had to ask. You went from 1 to 3 and 4. It's like, what happened to 2?
Yeah, no. But, so yeah, I bought Forsaken back in August, and I'm not gonna lie, dude, I cried. I cried in Cade's final fight scene after seeing what happened to his ghost.
Everybody did, dude.
Yes, I know. So at that point, my re-loving for Destiny re-sparked, and I've been obsessed ever since. But yeah, that's my story.
And he's sticking to it.
Yep.
So, why do you main Hunter? Is it just 'cause
well, yes, hunters are good. I agree with Respawn on that. And I respect the love that people have for warlocks and even titans. I'm sorry. Titans in their own way.
People don't love Titans. People identify with Titans.
Yes. Titans are cool in what little ways they have. I'm sorry. But I can't melee. I can't be close range fights for the life of me. The ability to punch and punch and punch and punch, that's just not me. But yeah. And besides, I started out on Hunter, and it's once you start, why go back? But yeah.
Agreed. And Nitedemon, why is it that you couldn't create a Hunter, and what's wrong with your game?
Me?
Yeah. I mean, the only reason you play Titan is because your game physically wouldn't let you create a Hunter, right? Because that's the only reason anybody would pick a Titan.
Why are you suddenly picking on me?
Well, hold on. He still had the Warlock option, did he?
No, I'm in one of those moods where I'm confrontational. Don't take it personal.
Oh, okay. No, you're good.
Wait. What? One of those moods? Has this mood lasted from birth until now?
I'm extra confrontational today.
This is why I, compared him to Nicolas Cage. He's the Nicolas Cage of the show. You know it's Nicolas Cage. You just don't know what mood he's going to show up. It's always just Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I guess. Just as long as there's no bees, that's all I care about, dude. Just no bees. All right. It's the one thing I ask. I'll do whatever you want, just no bees. Anyway, all right. So we got a twab that Peroty has completely skipped, except for the Iron Banana part, which is totally
No, I
fine.
mean that was the entire thing. There's something else.
What about this whole what we're planning on Bungie thing? Are we reading that, or is that just kind of meh?
No, I thought you do your deep dive analysis into the growth of the studio and the international expansion, and
Is that what I'm doing? Okay.
You haven't prepared your dissertation?
Yeah. Respawn, tell us about the Bungie prepares for future growth in
I will
2021.
absolutely tell us about that just as soon as I pull that back up again.
If you read the whole thing in like the most monotone way, that would be ideal.
No, that would be Nidedemon's job, bro. I can't do that. Like it's a physical thing. I physically can't do that. Also, that is the wrong thing. I'm a dummy. Let's try that again. Bungie prepares. Here we go. Wow, that is substantial. Okay.
So, how about you read like the first the 4 headlines at the top, and we leave it at that?
Yeah.
I'm good with that. All right, let's do that. I keep pausing the game. People are like, damn it, Respawn. All right. Bungie prepares for future growth in 2021. You get the 4 main headlines. Bungie prepares for future growth in 2021 with studio expansion by key talent investments and a new board members. Plural. Yep. Bungie increases Bellevue, Washington headquarters to over 208,000 square feet, planning a complete technical modernization alongside plans to open up its first international office in 2022. Would you look at that? They're going global, people. Bungie announces key talent additions and investments at all the executive level in preparation for future IP growth and expanding the highly acclaimed and successful Destiny universe into new media. Bungie welcomes new members to the Bungie board of directors from the entertainment and media industry, Trace Harris and Pamela Kaufman. And then they go into details about how they're doing each one of those things, but I'm not going to read that.
Well, basically, Pete Parsons and Luke Smith have been promoted, and they are now like heads of the Destiny universe as a kind of whole. And then they've promoted somebody else, I can't remember the name of the guy, to literally just being in charge of Bungie and in charge of Destiny 2. So I don't know. I'm sure it must say in here somewhere. So yeah, sorry. Mark Noseworthy has been promoted to Vice President of the Destiny Universe, and Luke Smith is the Executive Creative Director of the Destiny Universe, and Justin Truman is the General Manager of Destiny 2. Which, I mean, I think just means that Mark Noseworthy and Luke Smith are going to be incorporating other media like comics, films, music, books, anything you can kind of...
Do you know if that's true about a Destiny movie? Did you see the YouTubers talking about that?
Yeah, dude, I saw that, and I don't want that to happen.
That's because of this, really.
Yeah, they're saying new media, like movie, TV, whatever. I would love to see them expand into something. I just want to see Lance Reddick live action play Zavala. That's really what I want.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get anybody else to do anything else, it'd be fine.
Are they going to pay them all too?
That feels like the best chance to have Cade come back in his original form.
Oh my God! Just imagine if he played Cade.
Please.
And that's how you win over the hunters.
Yes.
Best-selling movie ever. Oh, don't act like it's just the hunters that want him back. All right. and just for the movie, they brought back Dinklebot.
Dude, not enjoying Cade no matter what you play is the greatest sin. Like not enjoying a Tom Hanks movie.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
In lieu of actual Dinklebot, I want Peter Dinklage to follow you around and just talk to you.
No, he is the ghost. If Thor Ragnarok can make him a giant, Destiny can make him a ghost, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so with the introduction of this Pamela Kaufman, she is the president of Viacom CBS Global Consumer Products, overseeing the worldwide licensing and merchandising of Viacom CBS. portfolio of brands spanning Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, BET, and CBS, Showtime, and Paramount Pictures. Whew, that's a lot of stuff that she's involved in.
All the things.
All the things. So it looks like, potentially movies, TV series, which would all be brilliant for Destiny fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the more Destiny, the better. And
You can't go wrong with that.
really, how incredible would it be that just to be your job title to be the vice president of a universe?
Yeah.
What are you? Oh, I'm vice president of this universe over here. And do we now have the DCU, the Destiny content universe, like the Marvel content universe?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
Will we-
you
will
also
we
have to
soon?
ask yourself this one very important question, and it is a paramount question. If
It is a
they
paramount
were
question.
going to make
They are
a
now
movie,
part of this.
what expansion would it cover?
Ooh.
Oh, D1 Day 1.
I think it would have
all the way
to
from
cover
the
the Death
beginning.
of Cade, since that was, I think, the most memorable part of this game.
Which one,
Or-
sorry?
The Death of Cade.
Dude, yes.
Well, no, I think it's probably going to be more along the lines of it's going to be the other stories that are in the Destiny universe that the players aren't playing, but could go along and explain a bit more. So you don't necessarily have to have Lance Reddick come in and do Zavala, but you could have other like Shin Malphas and other people that have been, noted in the Destiny lore. And like the Battle of Twilight Gap, you could tell single stories from one Guardian's perspective on that, or even the Fallen's perspective on that, or what happened with the Fallen. There's so much possibilities that could happen, and
He's got a
then
good
it
point.
ties in with the game because we are playing the story as it goes along. And then you just imagine like that game that they had that came out was it
I knew you were going to mention. I was just struggling to remember what it was too. The game and the TV show.
Quantum Break, was it?
No, at least that's what I was thinking of. Shoot.
Yeah, it was Quantum Break, which was the game that you could play. You played for it had Sean Astin in it who was Iceman in the X-Men, and the bad guy Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. And
Mhm.
you played the game. It was by Remedy. You played the game, and then it would pause. You'd get to a certain point in the game where you make a decision, and they would then play you a TV show for half an hour, and then at the end of that, you go then and play some more. And you could imagine that the Bungie universe would tie in to various different points of the game. Imagine if they were doing that there was an expansion coming up, and you got to watch like this half an hour, 45-minute. TV extravaganza, a bit like what's happening with WandaVision at the moment, and then it expands into the universe of you can then go and play this, and it's like that would be amazing.
No, yeah, that personally sounds amazing.
I see that this is
That's
where
awesome.
it's going to go. I mean, there is possibilities of the backstories and all the different tales that have come before, or the things that have been hinted on in the lore that you could have comics, TV series, but I think a big movie, if they were going to do something like that. I think it would be too much to ask that it just copies what's actually in the Destiny that we've been playing. I think maybe something that would either influence the game going forward or something from the past that would get people interested in playing the game.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that, because if they're just because they already made an expansion, people who have the expansions already played. So what's the point of making an entire movie out of it when you can play the game, watch the cutscenes, and interact with it?
Because
So
I want to see the actors doing the things. Obviously,
I mean, yes, that's gonna be good. Like no problem. But you already know what's gonna happen. It's like watching the same movie over and over. You already know what's gonna happen. You just want to get to the final.
You're talking to a guy that watches Deadpool 1 and 2 and the new Dragon Ball Z Super Broly movie multiple times a week. Okay, so when I travel anyway, they're good movies to watch on planes. So leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that one up, Nitedemon. There's another one I'm trying to think of because they had a full on TV series, and their idea was there'll be things in the game, and then the TV series would fill in the gaps narratively of what the game was, and then it would go back to the TV series, and it was I think it ran for 2 seasons, and
that was the one that the
drawing a blank on what it's called.
The film had James Bond in it, didn't it? Daniel Craig.
There wasn't a film. It was just TV. It was a TV show and a game that they had the same name. They released side by side a couple of years ago, and I'm absolutely failing to remember what it's called or be able to find it.
No, I could. I'm going to find it. Hang on.
Because the show wasn't very good and the game was fine, but it was at least it was the first time that they had done. Well, I mean, it was the first time they had done like
I don't know.
like the same thing side by side, and it's I say a couple years. It was probably like 10 years ago because I'm old and don't know how time works anymore. My head just wants to say it was Starship Troopers, and I know it's not Starship Troopers, but I feel like it was sort of in that same world.
Defiance.
Defiance. Thank you.
Yes, there was a film in 2008, which then led to the TV series, which then led to the game.
Totally forgot about the film. Thank you.
Yeah, the film had, as I said, Daniel Craig in it.
Was that the same film? Because I don't think Defiance, the film, had anything to do with Defiance, the game.
I'm sure it was.
I mean, looking up Daniel Craig, it's like, Nazi Germany and something, and I feel like there were giant aliens in the Defiance game.
Maybe then. Maybe it's just the same name. That's how I remembered it.
Nazi Germans.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yes. So there is a Defiance TV show with Daniel Craig. Totally different, completely different than Defiance, the video game, and the sci-fi Western drama television series.
You can tell that I've
They
watched
do have
both.
Phantasy Star, the video game, and then Phantasy Star, the anime. So you can do that, I guess.
Yes, so yeah, Defiance. That's what it was. So yeah, there were big aliens.
Just ignoring that whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing I was trying to come up with. Yeah, because I had a TV show with a companion video game that Pan and I ran around with because you could shoot giant aliens like Starship Troopers. So I'm not totally crazy. And then they tried to repackage it and re-release it as Defiance 2050. And it was basically the same game and like terribly old and out of date. And it was just a terrible idea all around. But it was fun to run around and play Starship Troopers, the video game.
What makes me laugh is that you search on IMDb for Defiance, and then it comes up with more that you might like, and it goes, there's the usual suspects: Falling Skies, Revolution, Dark Matter, and then it goes Defiance, the film with Daniel Craig. It's like, well, how does that? I'm sure you're then saying that ties in with, but obviously it doesn't because I haven't watched either of them.
No, yeah.
Falling things like Blood Rain has movies and video games. Freaking Tomb Raider has movies and video games. It's like, is that a thing?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But like there's so many things where there is a movie and a video game TV series, but this was the one where their whole thing was like it was going to be like run side by side. And yeah, like you play the game, and then we'll give you a new season of TV to sort of do what 19 was saying, like the Destiny might do, explore some of these stories, deep dive into these characters because the game was run around and shoot the aliens. There was a narrative there, but it wasn't like a deep, well thought out narrative. So it's like this can give you some narrative.
Are you trying to say that shooting aliens is not deep and well thought out, Parody?
Well, I mean, not in Defiance. No, Defiance. It was they're a big alien. Go shoot them.
How are you struck by your guns in Defiance? No.
No, I mean, in Defiance, no. In Destiny 1, no. I mean, because there was a plot. But let's be honest. If you weren't reading the lore tab of the Grimoire cards, you're like, there's some aliens. Some of them have more arms. Some of them have robots. Murder them all. That was your plot.
Have giant shields called Cabal.
Yes. Anyway, so sorry. Now I feel less like a crazy person. Yeah, because I was remembering Falling Skies and a bunch of other stuff because I watch all the sci-fi and it all throws together in my brain. I'm going, no, that's not the right one. No, that's not the right one.
You and me both.
Defiance, yes. But yeah. So Defiance, the movie. Actually, I think we should, as a group, watch Defiance, the movie, and then the first episode of Defiance, the TV show, and see where the parallels are of Daniel Craig and Nazi Germany. And then giant alien to the sci-fi American Western. Sounds like a perfect tie-in.
You never know. The aliens could turn up at any point during that film. We just don't know.
The aliens are the Nazis. Why do you think they're propaganda?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it is.
There you go. There's a tie-in. Cowboys and aliens.
So they're also expanding their HQ as Respawn.
I figured it out. Cowboys and Aliens, 2011. Star Daniel Craig. Aliens, Western. That's the eventual tie-in. We figured it out. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Defiance meets Destiny.
So as Respawn noted that Bungie are expanding their HQ and they're adding an international office coming 2022. And this is going to be their first international office in Amsterdam. The office space represents Bungie's developing global business and will be the home of the company's growing publishing and marketing division, ensuring Bungie's ongoing commitment to unify and expand on their passionate player community all over the world. So,
indeed. So yeah, Bungie is growing. So which makes me happy that Bungie is growing because that means Bungie is doing well. And if Bungie is
Yeah.
doing well, we're doing well, and we get more things from them.
I'm so glad that all my silver has gone to a good
Yeah.
use here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
DLC has gone to a good place.
Yeah, Fuzzco. See, we're expanding the Destiny community, Mister. I'll never spend silver on Bungie. Man.
I never would either, but I'm a loyal customer. So I have a podcast I've been talking about for 2 years about this game. So, we all do our part.
One might say that Peroty has a vested interest in this game succeeding. No? Okay.
So
What?
shall we get into this week at Bungie for the 18th of February 2021?
It's done.
Wait.
It's over. Weren't you there?
No,
Yeah.
there's a good thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the end.
Yeah, I opened the 12 and it said we're not supposed to be here, and I closed the 12 and said I'm not supposed to be here. So that's why I know it's Iron Banner this week, and that's it. So what else? What else happened?
What else happened? There was a secret mission that went live this week.
I mean, it's not so secret anymore, is it?
It may
Not-
be for some people. My
not
kids
that
didn't
we're
know
telling
about
everyone.
it until I took them through it.
You took. Oh, you lying son of a.
Line what? What's the
Oh
matter?
no, Phoenix did it by himself. It's not that bad. Oh, my kids didn't know about it until I took them through it.
Yeah,
Two very contradictory statements there, demon.
Phoenix did do it.
Yeah.
Bruce,
I
but
took
if you're looking
Indiana
for
to
someone
it.
to take you if you're looking for someone to go through with you, I don't even think I've started it. So if
See, me being goaded by Demon, like the idiot that I am, he's all like, "Oh, Demon, Phoenix figured it out. I know you can." So I soloed
Phoenix did.
the whole damn thing.
So did I.
well, respect. He says he figured it out. That doesn't mean he did it by himself.
Why? Why bother? I mean, I know why bother. I was aware of it. I saw everyone talking about it. I'm going, it looks like a good gun. I'll get around to it eventually. How long did it take you? How long did it take you to solo it? Because I've heard it's not hard. It's just a time commitment.
Hours.
Yeah, that's what I was told, and mostly you
Well,
just have to know where to look because I've easily spent 30 minutes looking for a hatch that happened to be above me.
Just
That happened.
Just go to Ebontis. Ebontis will walk you through by the hand lovingly and tell you each
He
step of the
will.
way where to go.
But yeah, it took probably, I'd say, about an hour just to figure it out. Flicking switches, shooting buttons.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I want to get the gun. I want to add it to my collection of exotics that I will remember for this week and never use again.
No, you'll use it.
I
You'll
honestly
use
think
it.
you'll use it. Yeah,
And I probably will, but it's just
especially if you get the catalyst, dude. Oh my
when
god.
your time is limited,
Mhm. Yeah,
devoting
no.
an hour to one thing, and
No.
random.
It's an hour to do it if you're just trying to do it without looking at any
Yeah,
guides and just having a
and
quick,
it's solo.
just having fun going through doing it solo. If you're with a team, you could probably get it done in about 20 minutes, easy.
Yeah, we
Okay.
ran a few people through it yesterday.
Okay,
I think I ran it like
question.
additional extra times. So yeah, it didn't take that long. Once you knew what was up, you could run through it pretty quick.
Okay, yeah, because I think I watched Poundish and Abontis both put out videos on it. I sort of watched through to get at least a sense of what is being asked of me, and it's like here's 16 different, it felt like 16 different mechanics, but none of them were that hard. It was go find the light, shoot the light, move on with life. It's like okay, that I can do.
So you got to find the switch. You got to flip the switch. That switch opens up a panel. In that panel, you shoot a light. When that light is done, another panel opens up. That panel has some green ghosty stuff. You shoot the ghosty stuff. Now you can run through an imaginary electric field.
It took me 15 minutes to figure out why I had to shoot those. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that.
Just Stone Cold sets though. Yeah, that's honestly why I'll pull up someone's, even if it's on an in-depth, like here's how to solo it 100%, go guns blazing. Like, please tell me what to expect, because if I have an hour to play and I sit down to play for an hour, I don't want to spend it, getting nothing out of it. So
it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, 20 minutes is doable. Again, there's like 3 guns I want to refarm for exotics, and so far the 2 they've given us are not those. But at least, so at least getting it done.
This is definitely worth it.
It is
definitely worth farming it to see if you can get some really good rolls on it. I know you're not like a hand cannon user, but this is a really good scout rifle. This is a really
hand
good
cannon in
scout
scout
rifle.
rifle form, and when you get the exotic perk, not the perk, the catalyst, it
Hang
becomes
on.
the last word in exotic form.
Yeah.
in
So you-
not exotic form, in scout rifle form.
It doesn't drop with the catalyst at the moment. The catalyst is hopefully coming this week. I think it's been data mined. So by the time you've heard this podcast, the catalyst would have dropped. So I believe somebody said that all you have to do is go to Zavala in the tower and then complete a bunch of tasks for it. But it gives you the hip fire kind of accuracy and bonus that you can get with the last word. So you can...
Hold on. A quick correction. It doesn't give you the bonus. It removes the penalties.
Well, that's a bonus to me.
Well, I mean, but it's
we're not buffing. We're just not nerfing Respawn's world.
We all know verbiage is important when it comes to Bungie, so we have to clarify. You don't get a bonus. It just takes away.
It's a bonus.
The penalties.
It's a bonus to hip fire.
You say so.
Yeah, it's all a bonus. So to get this mission started, you have to go into the strike, the arms dealer. So you can either do this from the director, or because of the week that we're currently in, it's the nightfall, you can do it through that. You could do it in the normal strike rotation if you like. But it's literally the first room that you come to where you find like some scions and some cabal just fighting or just standing near the exploding barrels. And there's a projection of the shard of the traveller. Literally the door right there to the right, that opens up once you've cleared that room. Go through there, kill the flame turrets or the scorpion turrets or whatever they are, kill the boss at the end of that route, and then over on one of the platforms you'll see there's a little diamond come up, say inspect, and then you can go from there. And it's a secret mission on the director on the Tangled Shore, isn't it, up in the top left hand corner?
Okay, so you can go to it without starting the arms dealer, or do you have to start the arms dealer at least once in order to have it available to it?
You have to go to
inside the strike.
Yeah,
whether it's nightfall, like you have to be in the strike.
No, you don't have to do it just through the nightfall. Other people have just been doing it through just going on the director.
No, I said or.
Sorry, you buzzed out.
You have to be in the strike, but or. I buzzed out. What do you mean?
Yeah, you're roboting. Too much Twitch, not enough audio.
Oh no.
Yeah, so you have to pick up the point in the quest in the arms dealer strike first, and then you can go to Zavala. He says, "Oh, there's this thing. It's over by the Tangled Shore," and then you go and investigate that.
And is that one match made? If you go directly into the Tangled Shore?
No, it's not.
Okay, so it's a solo. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, I'm asking the dumb guy questions because I'm the dumb guy who hasn't touched it yet.
There is a triumph for soloing it. There is also a triumph for soloing it flawless as well. It's not hard at all.
Can't make me.
There is also a lovely cheese. I've got a couple of videos for you guys later on. But regarding, actually, I could go through this now. There is a guide from, I think it's Mano Destra.
Look at Respawn. Look at Nitedemon going off script and doing videos early. Ooh.
I noticed how you defaulted to Respawn going off script, and I don't appreciate that.
Well, I mean, that's the sentence that my mouth wants to form.
Not off script. It's in total context. So Mano Destra 777 has got the Dead Man's Tail, which is the exotic scout rifle. That's the word.
Not a hand cannon. I know it's confusing, but it's not a hand cannon.
Not a hand cannon.
Hallelujah for that.
Really long barrel.
So this is the Passage mission, and he's got a guide for you to do it solo flawless. And there is a couple of cheeses, and there's some scannables in there for future going back in and doing different things. So
there's also
Abbey Hour. Yeah, okay. Abbey Hour, and I saw that Peroty had posted this earlier, has the first scannable available for you to scan. She's got a video on that. And there are hidden caches. I think there are there's one each week that you can go and scan a data pad, and these data pads are only going to be like functional for that week. But hopefully it's going to be a bit like those penguins on the Europa that you can scan as they come up in the rotation. So week one, there's one literally as you start the mission, but I think you have to do it for about the second or third time before it's to be able to be scannable. You can't do it on your first try, and I'm sure I looked on my second. But then on the third try, I just walked up to it, and it was easily scannable.
Same. And if you go in a fourth time, you can't get it again after that.
There is a really good cheese in the Mano Destra video to do with the Star Wars room. That's all I'm going to leave it at, because if you just want to experience it as, without being spoiled.
Star Wars room is, sir.
No, I'm not going to explain because that would spoil it.
But I've been through that thing 4 times, and I can't imagine what you call the Star Wars room. Oh, that.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that. Can't
But there
wait.
is a cheese for it, which is fantastic.
I mean, it wasn't that hard. I'd rather cheese for the boss fight, if I'm being honest. Which, by the way, I kind of made one up where I go to one side, boss fight, I jump up,
boss
go to
fight's
the other
easy.
side.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. I took
That's what I did.
for the boss fight. I took Tiku's divination. I took those rockets that stick. Oh no, actually, I took cluster and tracking.
I
And
didn't do that.
literally, as you said, you flick all the switches. You drop down one side. You shoot at him a couple of times. You jump back up. He runs to the side that you were at. You run across to the other side. Drop back down. Shoot him from the other side. It's like he gets so confused. But yes,
I want to do that now.
it's so
Yeah,
easy to do it solo. Just be careful when you do jump back up, because sometimes there are ads that spawn back up
That
the
are
top.
hanging out.
Yeah.
That's
But
what,
again,
that's what kept
Tiku's
me counting.
is amazing. Just like a couple of pew
Dude,
shots,
that
and then
bow is amazing.
That bow is a lot of fun.
I know.
It's what the Skyburner's Oath grew up and wanted to be.
yes,
It's really fun. It's really enjoyable, and I've been not maining it, but basically, anytime it wasn't like you need something to shoot, anti-barrier champions or whatever, I've been putting the bow
Yeah.
on and just using that, especially
Don't worry.
battlegrounds.
That's
Battlegrounds. I played some PvP this morning with it. It's stupidly fun. I really enjoy it.
How easy is it to kill people in PvP? Because I still have like 48 more PvP kills to get with it, and I haven't even taken it in there.
it's good.
Yeah, I mean, when you ADS it, I feel like it one shot somebody, but I'm sure he had taken some damage first. It's probably at least a 2-shot, or you can just take it into 6s and just spam hip fire it and clean people up that way. I've done a little bit of both. I played 2 elimination matches this morning because I had some quest that was like play 2 elimination matches. Sure, why not? I've got time and I'm not invested in whether we win or lose, so worked out nicely. Didn't everyone good is in trials, so everyone not so good was in elimination. Worked out great. It actually felt competitive.
So yeah, this mission went live, and it's really good, spooky mission to try and do solo, and good fun. There's lots of secret things that are going to come up in the next couple of weeks, and you can run it through the first time, and you will get a normal standard version of the exotic to drop, but it's got the new kind of, I'd say it's a perk with the question mark saying that if you rerun the mission, you'll get extra drops of this to have different roles of different perks. There's quite a few good ones in the loot pool for it. But I think, unfortunately, at the moment, you can only run it once on your whole account. So once you've run it through...
I will say that's not true. Because if you run
true?
it once, you get the weapon. And if you run it a second time, you get
that's
a
what I'm
random rolled weapon.
That's what I'm just about to explain. That's what I'm explaining. You get the initial drop, but you can only get 1 random roll per week at the moment. And I'm not entirely sure whether that is a bug or that is it, because unlike the Hawkmoon, where you can run it on all 3 characters for that week, this is at the moment just 1 extra, or that 1 reroll per week once you've initially acquired it. So yeah.
Sorry.
And I got
run it once. I'm like, no, that's not a thing. You can do. It's
it's yeah.
The sentence is also important.
Do what?
I don't know.
The rest of the sentence was also important.
Oh, okay. So it's called Dead Man's Tale. It's the first of its kind 120 RPM scout rifle. It's a primary. And initially, if it comes up on my screen, tap the button 10 times. Stop.
Initially, it comes with fluted barrel, accurized rounds, transformative perk, and hand-laid stock. The transformative perk just means that later in future rolls, you're going to be able to get random rolls of this gun.
Yes.
There you go.
I thought there was some perk about tapping the button 10 times. I was very confused for a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, so was I.
No. Ishtar Collective or Ishtar Command or whatever it is just didn't want to work. It's like, no, you push the button, you saw what the gun was, that's it, we're just going to close now.
Yeah. Ever since they canceled the maintenance that was supposed to be on Thursday, things have been just a little slow on the app side. I've noticed the same thing with Ishtar and Dim this week, just a little bit off. And the Bungie app pulling the bounties. Sometimes it pulls, sometimes it goes. I see you've pressed the button. I know you've requested this bounty. I'm going to think about it for a while. It may show up in 20 minutes, but right now I'm going to think about that.
So its exotic perk is Cranial Spike. So chaining precision hits grants bonus damage and quickens the reload. So it then speeds up, and you can kill a Guardian very, very quickly, and it's very good for PvE as well. And then on the reroll that I got Hammerforge Rifling, which increases the range. I got Steady Rounds, which is increasing the stability but slightly decreases range. I got Outlaw, so precision kills greatly decrease the reload time, and then Fitted Stock, which is increasing the stability. So
that's what I'm looking for on mine, dude.
It's amazing. And then I put reloading perks on my gauntlets, and I was going to town with it. In PvE, I haven't taken it to PvP as yet, but yeah, that was good fun.
You're a bad man. You're totally roboting out Respawn. We're not roboting, but we're just losing your audio.
He's fiddled with the mic, hasn't he?
No.
How many weeks did it take him? 1 week.
I haven't touched it. I haven't touched the damn mic.
No, it's not the mic. It's the it sounds like bandwidth. It sounds like Twitch and Discord are fighting for supremacy, which you can no longer do in Destiny. It's being vaulted. Like that time.
That was one thing I did want to bring up with the new way that they are laying out the what is it? The I can't remember the name of them.
First word sounds like.
Okay, first word sounds like Triumph, but it's not Triumph. But it's the things that you can do each week, and they're going to give you
weekly challenges.
That's it, the weekly challenges. So the weekly challenges, I understand where they were coming from, that you can do these weekly challenges at any point, and you could earn the Bright Dust, and you could earn the challenges to, complete the whatever. But what I'm confused at is the first week there was a challenge to do Mayhem, and then the second week there was a challenge to do, I can't remember what it is this week in Crucible, but whatever the Crucible featured playlist is this week,
it's not that.
It's not that. So if you come in later on in the season and Mayhem, or I'm going to say Supremacy, even though I know it's not Supremacy, Mayhem and Supremacy aren't up for that week, how are you then able to complete those challenges? I thought the idea was that you could come in at any point during the season, like the ones for Gambit. I've left the ones for Gambit. I mean, I did it the first week. The second week, I haven't played Gambit this week. I should have. But I know that at the end of
week, good job.
I know at the end of X amount of weeks, if it requires me to go and play Gambit, I'll be able to complete all of those in one sitting, because it's just kind of play Gambit, do Gambit things. Whereas the Crucible ones, because they're based on the rotational playlists, doesn't make sense. So what I've been focusing on is making sure that I've completed those each week, so that I don't have to worry about them coming up later on in the season that I've missed.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd point that out at this point in time. So if Mayhem and not Supremacy, but Supremacy come back up, whatever it is this week, I can't remember what it was. Is it Elimination? No, it's not Elimination, because that's already on there.
Yeah, I was trying to
Respawn. Have a look. You're actually playing the game. You could actually help with this.
Yeah, I was
trying apparently too. So
have a look at what it's next to the competitive playlist on the right.
Survival Showdown.
Showdown. Yeah, so it's literally 3v3 again, and you just win points. But you have to play Showdown for this week, otherwise you don't do that Triumph or that challenge for this week. So
sounds like I have to go play some Showdown then.
Well, it may come back up in the rotation, and you maybe they'll knock like 2 weeks out, or 2-week challenges out in one go. But let's say it doesn't come back up. And I'm guessing the challenge for next week, when it does appear, is go and play Iron Banner for the week. So say you miss every Iron Banner, you then lose out on the 3 challenges that come up for that.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they could have, with those challenges, it may just be you have to go and play or get a certain amount of kills in Crucible would have probably been better, or use your abilities in Crucible, so that it does give people the chance that if they do come in week 8, 9, and 10, they have the ability to then go through all of those things rather than, oh, well, you didn't play that in the playlist that week. It's not back up until after the season ends. So sorry, you missed out.
Yeah, I wonder if it's one of those things where at the end of the season they'll just be like, "Hey, here's everything," or they'll give us, here's like a selector of anything in Crucible if you need to finish one of these up. But yeah, the Bungie is great about this, saying, "Hey, here's a week. It's going to be Solar Week. We're going to celebrate all the solar things. Here's 17 ARC bounties. Please go complete those." It's like the planning and the programming team sometimes don't quite talk to each other.
Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, I get the idea is that, the idea is that you can come in at like later on in the season and just do the whole thing. But there are certain ones that you can't do if they're not available in the director.
Right. Yeah. And it may be just one of those, you miss out if you miss out. But, at least we'll give you, 3 or 4 chances to do it versus, hope you played on, Tuesday the 17th, because otherwise you missed everything because it was only live for that day or only live for that week or whatever it was.
Mm.
But at least these challenges aren't, super overwhelming. It's not like, go do 18 steps to this quest. It's like, just go get a bunch of these kills, get kills, pick up engrams. There's nothing crazy about it. At least the ones I've done so far, which is not all of them, but.
And something else that you brought up this week is I forgot to say last week that there are new mods that are available via the Helm that you can collect each week. There are 2 that you can get each week, and there are 6 in total. So these are new, like, Charge with Light mods that you can get. We have Elemental Charge, which is picking up elemental wells grant energy to your abilities with the lowest current energy. Picking up an elemental well whose element matches your subclass damage type grants energy to all your abilities. We then have Elemental Ordnance. So this is defeating combatants with your grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. You have Elemental Light. Defeating a combatant with your super spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. There's Elemental Armaments. So this is weapon takedowns with a damage type that matches your subclass element to have an escalating chance to spawn an elemental well.
Yeah, that's one thing I saw those, and yeah, I didn't remember it. Maybe we covered it and I just picked out, but I didn't remember anyone mentioning that there were the new elemental things. And as someone who is basically completely ignored Charge with Light and half ignored Warmind cells, these I actually put on and had a really good time with. I was playing with Panoramics the other night, and I picked up a couple of these. We were doing some Nightfalls and stepped into a Legendary Lost Sector, like 20 light levels under. Don't do that. But they were actually a lot of fun, and just, like, I really appreciate, like, sort of having a passive perk. Like, you shoot a thing, it drops a well, you throw a grenade, it drops a well, you get more grenade energy. I don't have to do anything special for that. Mm-hmm. And if you're wondering, when it says wells, what are they? Because we had the same questions, like, well, you seek are dropping me a well. What does that look like? What am I looking for? It's basically if what was the Nightfall perk where you had to go get the little, like, pools of health back?
Yeah, I know what you mean now.
I'm drawing a blank on what it's called, but basically, like, it looks like those little pools. And again, whatever subclass you're running, Solar, Arc, Void, and I assume Stasis, so I didn't test it. You'll get basically that little puddle on the ground of whatever class you are. You step in that puddle, you get that little boost to your well, and yeah, in my case, I get to throw more grenades. I was running around with Solar because it was go get solar kills and things. So you see those on the ground, you step in them, it gives you a little boost to your grenade, and you can run merrily on your way.
Yeah.
Given that I have dutifully purchased all of these stupid mods, now have 78 mods. I get what Bungie was saying about here's 70 mods to put on your butt cape, figure it out, or your boots, or whatever the armor piece is. I wish I could sort of cycle through like Warmind or Charge with Light or like these different mod types, because they're and the raid stuff, they're just all there in a pile. And I have a lot of them, most of which I don't care about. Looking at you, Charge with Light. I wish I could at least just filter on, show me the ones I want to see, or let me not look at Charge with Light, because there's so many of those, and it's hard to sort of tell which mod is which unless you like mouse over it and see what what the name on it is or what the type of it is.
I think the thing with those is that you just start kind of slotting them in and just trying them out. Just make a conscious effort to maybe just do 1 or 2 and see how it either improves your gameplay or doesn't improve your gameplay. Is it too much work for you to kind of generate, say, a Warmind cell, or is it just kind of coming naturally? So this week, for example, with my Warlock, I put on, generates a War Mind cell through solar explosions. And I thought I'll use the Tikus and see, because I'm proccing so many explosions from that, what I can actually get from that. And I was able to kind of solo one of the lost sectors this week with just Tikus, and it didn't matter what elemental shield that they had, because it took like 2 or 3 Tikus to just explode, even an arc shield or a void shield. They were just exploding all over the place, and these War Mind cells were just popping up randomly, which was really helpful because if I shot them, they exploded and a lot of damage. So it's worth kind of just experimenting with things that, these War Mind cells have been around for ages and I haven't really used them. I've seen a lot of builds and thought, I'll get into doing that for PvE, but I haven't kind of had felt the need to use it. Like you said, you can run strikes, you can run Nightfalls without these builds, unless you're going up into the higher echelons of Grandmasters and trying to do flawless stuff. So, even with the secret mission, I didn't necessarily need any extra builds mods on there. I was just able to kind of go through it. Admittedly, I was at 1300 because I've seen in the chat that a couple of people like Andy and that were saying they were at 1250 and it was a little bit more of a struggle. Maybe that's probably why I wasn't really thinking about it as much, but
it was
just experiment.
And like I said, that I appreciate that these are sort of like I don't have to think about them. I put the mod on and I just go about my way and kill things. And then, here's a well that increases your abilities. Great. I don't have to think about if I'm charged with light or discharged with light or what I'm doing. I appreciate the passive ability side of it. But I hadn't really seen the mentions, and we'll put a little video in the show notes, and maybe you have a better one. I found one that was by Paid to Be Famous, sort of going over 2 of them and sort of how they work. I think it's the 2 that are available this week, the grenade one, and I can't remember what the other one was. But they're just fun. I get what people were saying. Oh, charge with light. This is like I understand. You don't have to explain it to me. I'm just not that invested. It's just too much to think about.
It's like I give a shout out to the Guardian Hub this week. I was listening to episode 98, and it had a guy called Scott Free on there. Really good podcast if you guys haven't listened to it. And he was going over because he does some writing for, I think it's the Destiny News Hub that they're kind of affiliated with or linked with. And he does some writing for them. And he was giving out a few tips and tricks on their show. And one of the things that I do automatically with my builds, and I don't think we've talked about it enough on this podcast, is the fact that just make sure that you have 2 arc armor pieces, because if you slot 2 specific mods on your armor pieces, it gives you a boost in mobility and strength. So if you can, Powerful Friends, so this mod gives you 20 plus mobility, and what's its first perk? Sorry, that's its second perk. But when
Powerful Friends, this mod, hold on, it just closed on me.
It keeps closing on me.
No, I have it on my game right now.
Okay.
So
You read it out.
Is active when at least one other arc mod is socketed into armor, when at least one other arc charged with light mod is socketed into another piece of armor you are wearing. When you become charged with light, nearby allies also become charged with light if they are not already. And then that's plus 20. Yeah.
So if you have that on, and then you find the other mod, which is called Radiant Light, and this mod's secondary perk is active when at least one other arc mod is slotted into the socket. So if you run this Radiant Light and the Friends perk, you kind of get double the benefits. You get the 20 plus mobility and 20 plus to strength. And casting your super causes nearby allies to become charged with light, and it gives you the 20 plus strength. So that's an extra 40 points on your builds, which, the charge with light part is an added bonus, I think. But if you're kind of going for these triple stats in your builds, having just 2 random pieces of armor really do help you in kind of getting better stats in certain builds. And it's something I've kind of done ever since.
Light build is going to have 2 arc, 2 solar, and a void, right? Because you need 2 solar pieces as well to get you a max of 5 stacks of light.
Yeah, but you don't. I'm just saying, just in general, if you're kind of building, if you're starting kind of looking at theory building your armor, and it's just something that I've done religiously since these armor mods were in the game, because originally you could put those the Powerful Friends, you could put powerful friends on all 5 pieces and get 100% mobility until Bungie decided, oh no, you can only have 1 on there. So then they changed it so that you had to have another Arc mod slotted into that piece. And then I think they changed it last season. It just has to be another Arc mod entirely. So it's just something I've kind of constantly run, but I didn't think about kind of bringing it up until I listened to the Guardian Hub. And as I said, Scott Free has some other really good tips. So go and listen to their show. I'll link it in the show notes, but it was definitely worth a listen.
I could see that. But yeah, no, I just like even without having the 2, like I run I run that just the 1 arc piece, and then the rest of it is Warmind build setup, right? And I still have 100 mobility and 100 recovery, right?
Yeah.
Only just using that 1 mod. The plus 20 strength would also help, right? I mean, if I had that on, I would have 100 mobility, 100 recovery, and 55 strength instead of 35 strength. But I mean, I'm expecting the Warmind, not really light. So,
And all those numbers definitely matter and mean something.
Well, if I put on my Warlock, I can get like 100% resilience, 50 recovery, and 100 on my strength, and running the Claws of Ahamkara with the stasis build, I can get 2 melee charges. And if I'm using the Monte Carlo, I'm constantly proccing, kind of getting my melee back. So having the uptime on the melee without kind of having to spec and put extra mods or look for the right stats on the armor, I can have more protection. I don't have to look for like 100% strength and lose out in other departments. A bit like Crazy Mr. Pips has done with some of his builds with his hunters, that you can get triple stats of like 100 in certain areas if you get the right mods and the right combinations and the right armor. So, Peroty, you've been playing some Battlegrounds this week, have you?
oh,
I really enjoy Battlegrounds. Now that I've finally got used to the do 1, do 3, do 6, do 3, do 9 progression of them. Yeah, it's again. I think it's no secret that I just want to have Halo Firefight in Destiny, and this is about as close as it gets. Go there, murder a lot of things, repeat.
How good is the new Battleground on the Cosmodrome?
It's madness. Absolute madness. They were like, would you like to have all the people inside a tiny room? Would you like to try to live through that? Because we have all of that for you. I was not quite ready for Bungie to be like, here's some ogres and witches and thrall and basically the entire hive army in a small room. It's a nice 8x10. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it's like, you thought you were fighting the Cabal, but no, you've got to get past this lot first.
Yeah, and dude, okay, the final part of that where you're back outside at Skywatch, wherever it is on the Cosmodrome, where you're fighting the final boss. I don't know where the ogres spawn. I don't know how often the ogres spawn. But
was that one ogre that had like 2 knights and a bunch of acolytes around him that would just like snipe you from like the left or the right?
Thank you. I don't know where he spawns, but no matter where I'm hiding, he will find me and shoot me.
Like it's almost like there's multiple of them, because like I did that this like yesterday. They were like, I was hiding behind a wall, I'd get sniped, I'd hide behind a different wall, and he's still hitting me, and I can't even see him. So like, how does like someone please tell me how that works? And
I hate to break it, guys, but Bungie is onto us, because if you think I know where that shrieker's going to spawn and I'm going to shoot him in the face,
you don't.
They move them. They move them around. They're where you're not. They've gotten wise to our tactics.
So what I'm getting from this, that it's fun because there's so many more enemies they've put in there.
Oh yeah,
and it's just utter chaos, which is what we wanted. This is the thing that we've wanted for such a long time.
Yeah. Give me a place just to hit my head against the wall with thousands of enemies. But what I want to know is, if you want me to run 9 of these, can we randomize them, please? I know in theory you can go into the Vanguard playlist and run a Battleground randomized. I ran 5 Nessus Battlegrounds in a row.
Ooh.
Before I actually went to the Cosmodrome out of the playlist just to get the thing done for this week that says go do the new Cosmodrome Battleground. I was solo queuing in, and it was like, okay, I've seen Nessus. I've been to Nessus. I hear there's one on Europa. I think I've seen it once.
Hey, no, stop. I heard there's one on Europa. There's a Nessus on Europa.
No, there's a battleground.
Battleground.
I'm just teasing them. Yeah.
There could be a Nessus on Europa. I would never know because I'm only allowed to play the Nessus battleground in the playlist. Just it really feels like when you're playing, say, Iron Banner, and there's a number of maps, and that number is more than 2, but you're going to see the same 2 maps all week long, and then you get a third map, and you go, "Oh wow!" Anyway, but yeah, I love battlegrounds. Do you love battlegrounds? How do you feel about it?
Not really. I mean, it's okay for a new game mode, but like me and one of our guys from the clan were having a conversation last night, right? And we're like, what if
What's it? Call him out.
we had?
Shout him
I
out.
don't remember.
It was probably himself. This was the conversation with himself.
No. It was an actual conversation I had with somebody last night.
That's what your other self would tell you.
Maybe, who knows? But we were discussing that what if it was a horde mode, but like a true horde mode, right? Like okay, so you sit there playing Battlegrounds, right? And an item drops on the ground, kind of like a box, right? You go to the box, there's a thing in there that gives everybody on your team their supers immediately, 100% done, right?
That is what happens.
No, it's not.
It is.
There's nothing in the game that does that currently, okay? But no,
Yeah,
I'm talking
there's a
about
flag.
Yeah,
my
the only
God.
thing I can
You
think of
can't
is
do the
public event flag.
while you're in combat. I'm talking about while the game is going, right?
Yeah.
Like a true horde mode. The enemies never stop. Right here, what we're doing now, the enemies stop when you kill the boss, right? In this other horde mode, you have waves that they never stop, right? And the waves progressively get harder, whether it's more ads or whether it's a yellow bar or whether it's a boss, right? Like an end game boss just shows up, right? And you just keep going until you eventually die. But to help you progress through the game, right? Boxes drop with random stuff in there. Hey, this one gives you your full grenade energy. This one gives your team full super energy. This one gives your team full class ability. Who knows? Whatever. Fill in the blank, right? This one gives your team full heavy. Something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's something to keep it going further and further, and it's a leveling system, right? Not, hey, how fast can you kill the end boss? No, it's how far can you go before your team gets wiped? Flat out.
Yeah.
See, I was expecting it to be something like that. And that's probably why I'm jaded right now, because it's not. It's basically just you fight a couple of guys until you kill the end boss, and I'm just like, this is like a strike, but the strike just keeps moving forward slightly. Oh wait, that is a strike, and it's not what I expected it to be. It's a different game mode, to be sure.
Yeah,
but it could have been so much better.
We like different.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was sort of hoping for the same thing, but I knew it was going to be, like the other match-made activities. You go here, go to the set piece, complete the set piece, go to the next part, complete that set piece, go to the next part. I do wish it was sort of like you start here and like you fight your way through. Like, you maybe you start here and end in the same place, but there's, just constant waves of enemies the entire time, or a little checkpoint along the way, or something where like you're making progress and maybe there is an end to it eventually. But but it is you go from point A to point B. But like Respawn said, like it's almost like the Left 4 Dead style of like you're under combat. There are things trying to kill you at all times. There are randomly drop things around for you to pick up. There is eventually like a safe point or a place you're trying to get to, but it is a struggle to get there.
Exactly, and you can even make something time based. Hey, if you manage to kill all the enemies in this area, or so many enemies in this area, you get access to either this location or this location, right? Depending on how well you do, you get access to an even more difficult location and see if you can pass that one, right? I mean, just there are so many things they could have done that just wasn't this that could have made it better. And for once, I'm agreeing with Fuzzco. This is not a great game mode. It's just, to me, more of the same, right? It is.
But it's something that you haven't played before in Destiny with this.
Yes. Give me
that's why it's good. It's a good
you-
stepping stone. It's a good jumping off point to go further.
They're getting somewhere because like these. Sorry, go ahead, Nitedemon.
I was going to say, what do you think, Riz?
No, I was going to say because these last few seasons have either been Fallen / Elixir and Vex, but like frankly, I'm just glad to have like another class to fight, like season wise, besides those two. I'm kind of glad that they just mixed it up a little bit because I'm trying to think. Yeah. Like I think the last time we fought Cabal was like wasn't it Season of Worthy that we did that?
Last time we stepped into a war with them.
Well, that. Like, until that season, there was Season of Arrivals that lasted far too long than it should have. And then last season, like, I'm just glad they chose another race to fight, even if they're kind of using the same storyline.
Yeah, but during the Cabal fight, you still fight Fallen. You still fight freaking Vex during portions of the battlegrounds, right? It's not.
No, I know
just
that. But, like, I'm just glad, like, the main race / faction that you're fighting is Cabal / whatever Kaido's calling the Cabal now.
I just think you're thinking too small. What about the Darkness? Why don't we have Darkness enemies, right? I want one of the members of the Nine to come to Earth and I can whoop his behind in a raid. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
Yeah.
giant talking head, you sure like to talk a lot. Why don't you come down here and back it up, bruh? Right? Something, give me a different enemy type altogether. Give me a different game mode. I thought this was going to be the Horde mode, like what he was talking about, like a Call of Duty or a Left 4 Dead or something like that, where you don't get a break. But it's not that,
Respawn's gonna be really surprised the day he goes over to talk to Zur, and Zur is like, "I heard you've been talking smack about me. You know what I got for you? 1v1 me." And then Zur takes you into a PvP match, and you have to fight Zur.
I
want to see that now.
Turns out Zur can use all 3 subclasses of all 3 classes.
Oh my gosh.
Zur's like, I have all the exotics.
Dude, he's gonna have like Prometheus lens with the Wardcliff coil.
And the Titan crash down chest piece and the freaking Warlock Geomag stabilizers. What the hell's going on, dude?
You know what would have been good if they'd done a secret battleground that comes up at the end. So yeah, we've got like the 4 that do come up, but then there's a secret one that comes up, and it just comes up on like the Cosmodrome as a question mark. You click on it, you go to it, and there are Siva in there, there's Cabal in there, and it's kind of in that area that you've used to fight to get into the raid before, because that's part of the Cosmodrome. I think that would be amazing that you kind of hint at that the Siva are kind of coming back, because we've had Saladin in on the Helm table discussing all these different things that are happening with the Cabal. I think it would be a perfect tie-in for what could possibly come later on with Siva and with Rasputin, and I think it would have been really cool if they do that. That there's a secret 5th one, and the scale has kind of escalated up, so there's more enemies. There's more darkness zone parts to it, so that it is it's more of a pinnacle thing to kind of complete with your fire team. Although you could probably see what's his face, Esoteric probably solo that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because it's true and I'm dying.
So close your ears, Peroty.
Uh-oh.
What?
Exactly.
What?
Did you guys know there's a new hand cannon on the block? Oh, a reprised hand cannon. I'm talking about the palindrome. Yes.
Gotta catch 'em all.
I
got one. I got 2, I think. No, I got one.
So how do we get these Hunter Master Race?
You got to go into a Nightfall strike, and you have to do the Nightfall strike, and you have to get to the end of the Nightfall strike, and then you get a chest, and that chest may or may not get. No, I lied. Before you get the chest, when you kill the boss, you may or may not get a palindrome during the loot drop. So the higher the difficulty, the better your chances of getting one of these raid specific legendaries.
So the boss has it in his pocket.
He does have it in his pocket. He's got all of them in his pocket, and depending on the week, you may get one or the other, or the other, or the other, or the other.
And did you know that there is a mod that you can put on your Ghost Shell that will improve your chances of getting such an amazing drop?
I do, in fact, know that. And that mod is on my Ghost Shell, and it is called the Prosperity Vanguard Activity Ghost mod, which Vanguard playlist strikes and Nightfall completions have a chance to drop an additional piece of legendary gear.
There you go. And how many ghost points does it cost to slot it in?
I believe 3. Double checking. 3. Yep. So you can have +6. You can have the +6 experience, which gives you 12% additional XP for times like right now when you're grinding those levels. You can have the Prosperity Vanguard, which is only 3, and then you still have a slot left over for something like a Glimmer Booster if you're running short because, you don't always have max Glimmer.
And then we have my favorite game mode returning next week.
Is it really your favorite though?
I do. I love it.
Wait.
Do you like it because it's fun to play, as in the activity itself is fun, or just because you play with clanmates? I'm curious.
You're asking the man with 2,500 Iron Burden kills and the emblem to prove it.
Because he's a masochist doesn't mean he thinks it's fun. All right. Two
I
totally
think if you have
different.
the patience to play enough times that you get that many kills, I think you enjoy it to some extent.
Yeah.
But is it because the game mode itself is fun, or because that's normally when people get on to play it though? That was my question. Is do you find the game mode itself, because it's PvP capture, dude. That's all it is, or control. Sorry, PvP control. That's all it is with light level enabled. So what makes that even better? So is it the light level being enabled, or is it the fact that people get on to play with clan members, or whatever? What is your opinion on this?
Possibly. It's possibly all those things that and the unique. I suppose it's probably the unique rewards as well. I like looking for something new that's coming, or even reprised at the moment, that's coming back that we can get, and I can like hoard my tokens to maybe get the new armor with the possibility of higher stat rolls, to then even different rolls of the weapons. The Claws of the Wolf, the pulse rifle, I really enjoyed, and I had a good couple of rolls of those because it was very much like the Grasp of Malak, which was one of my favorite pulse rifles from Destiny 1. And it's just a shame that it hasn't come back, because we had a chance with the reprised Omniball Strike, but it didn't come back. But next week...
I didn't mean to interrupt, but there's a new pulse. No, I really didn't, because you mentioned the pulse rifle, and there was a question I wanted to ask you, and I forgot until just this very second.
You were going to ask me about the Hopscotch Pilgrim version of the pulse rifle that is now in the Strike playlist, aren't you?
No, but now I'm interested. Continue.
So the Hopscotch Pilgrim was a really good pulse rifle from Destiny 1, and they have put a very similar build one in the Strike playlist. So this is the ones that they said last, I think it was not last trial, but a couple of trials back, that they were going to put 2 weapons in each of the playlists for you to kind of get. So it's the bottom dollar, isn't it? And something else from Gambit.
$1 hand cannon.
And the hand cannon, that's from Gambit. And then there's a Crucible sniper that people aren't really talking about. But this pulse rifle... yes, that's Frozen Orbit. But I don't know what the other one is for Crucible. Maybe it's the Stars one that's still already there.
So my question is this: where did this come from? Because I got something called the Third Axiom pulse rifle.
Oh, I have that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've never
the Strikes
seen before. Yeah, right.
It's a Strike one. So it's
And
a
it-
390 RPM, and
Yep.
it is in the similar frame and style of the Hopscotch Pilgrim.
Hmm.
So
Is that the one you were talking about? This
yes,
gun
it
that
is.
I have?
It's called the Third
Ah,
Axiom.
I got one! And mine has Subsistence and Rampage.
That's a good one. Have you got
Right?
ricochet rounds and some stability on there?
No, I've got high cal rounds, and I do have a range masterwork with a corkscrew rifling barrel.
You sound like you've got all the range but no stability.
Yeah, a little bit. That's why God invented the counterbalance stock, right?
That's not how that works. You know that, don't you?
It'll bring me up to freaking 89 thing. It'll at least be vertical. If it's got a
No,
bunch
you don't
of
want 89. You don't want 89. You want it to be around 74.
it is exactly 74.
Well, then leave it on 74 because that's pretty much in the middle.
Okay. Well, anyway, so that and that's what I was going to ask you about is like WTF is this gun and where did it come from? But you've answered my question.
It comes from Strikes, and it is worth getting with some of the perks that are available.
Ooh, what are the perks? Let's check light.gg, shall we?
For some reason,
Let's
I
just-
For the Third Axiom or for the other gun that I totally forgot?
Third
about?
Axiom.
Third
Okay.
Axiom.
Yeah, the sniper rifle. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen any videos or anybody raving about it as yet, but I could have just missed the videos.
It's a sniper rifle. We're over sniper rifles. We're all about hand cannons. And for some reason, like I know you guys said pulse rifle, and I heard pulse rifle, but I had one of these drop, and for some reason my brain looked at it. Maybe it was the color scheme. Maybe it was my brain said fusion rifle. I don't know why, but I was like, I'm probably just going crazy. It dropped in like I just looked at it in the little list of 9 things and going, that's a fusion rifle. No, it's definitely a pulse rifle.
I get mad scout rifle vibes from this thing, especially the bipod in the front, dude. It reminds me a lot of the freaking exotic scout rifle everybody used to use back in the day. The
Mida
multi-tool. Thank you, sir, for not letting me hang there all awkwardly, guys.
Well, no, I didn't. I was kind of scared to talk because if it wasn't wrong, that'd probably be more embarrassing for me.
But yeah. So anyway, the third axiom has possible roles, right? You got the barrel, all the normal barrels, all the normal magazines, right? But here's where things get a little interesting. On a pulse rifle, you can get slideways, right?
Yeah.
You can get surplus. You can get killing wind, feeding frenzy, moving target, Genesis, very nice, Zen moment, rangefinder, subsistence.
What does Genesis do?
Genesis, breaking a combatant shield with this weapon, because it is an energy weapon, it is an arc weapon, fills its magazine from reserves. Energy weapons regenerate ammo on hit when matching the damage type of the combatant's shield. So as you're hitting a shield that matches the element type, you keep getting ammo back in your magazine, and when you break it, it refills your magazine completely. Then you got hip fire grip, you got slide shot, which again is interesting on a pulse rifle. And this sliding partially reloads this weapon's magazine and temporarily boosts range and stability. And then, of course, you got quick draw. That's all in one slot, guys. That's a lot of perks in one slot, right? Moving on.
Anyway,
so your second
why
slot,
would I want slide shot on something that's not a shotgun?
right? And slideways too, right? Slideways and slide shot. That's why I'm very confused why these are on a pulse rifle, right?
Kind of forgot that there were 2 of them.
Yeah. So you have the one for all, hitting 3 separate targets. This is the last perk slot, by the way, and there's just as many. We got one for all, hitting 3 separate targets increases damage for a moderate duration. Unrelenting, rapidly defeating targets triggers health regen. Guardians and powerful combatants count as more than 1 kill. Thresh, always a crowd favorite, right? On an arc weapon, I don't know if we have Thresh on an arc weapon yet. Somebody correct me if we do. Multi-kill clip. What do we got here? Sympathetic arsenal. Meh. Dragonfly. Yes, please. Disruption break. Opening shot. Head seeker. Vorpal weapon. And then you got Rampage and Elemental Capacitor. And Elemental Capacitor, for those that don't know, depending on your subclass type, it gives different bonuses. If you're Solar, it increases your reload speed. If you're Arc, it increases your handling. And if it's Void, it increases your stability. There's my stability because I'm almost always on a Void subclass. If it's not Void, then it's, the ice one, Freezy Bits. So, yeah. So whenever I'm using my Void, like most of the time I do, I get a plus 20 to stability there. There you go, Demon.
These are not bad perks for a pulse rifle.
No, and there's a lot of them. Like, I'm surprised how many you can get on this gun. So, yeah.
11. There's 11 for your first and secondary. That is
a little nutty.
That's a lot of chances you have to get a really bad roll.
That's also true. A lot of different rolls you can get on here. Like, if it was me, like, you can have one wish, get one roll on this gun. I'd definitely go with small bore. I'd pair that with ricochet rounds. Or, actually, I just like ricochet rounds a lot. That's my go-to. And then I'd have probably Zen Moment paired with either Thresh or Rampage. That would be my personal god roll.
Overflow. Always overflow.
It's not there. I'm sorry, buddy.
I don't care. I'm adding it.
It's there now.
So, I mean, since we're sort of talking about roles, I meant to ask sort of talking about, now that we have the Hawk Moon and the new Scout that I don't have and forgotten the name of.
Dead Man's Tale.
About the exotic weapons now having random rolls. Like it, don't like it, care, don't care, worth farming for? And do you hope, do you think they're going to bring, like, sort of retroactively add them to old guns, or is this just a hey, going forward, the new exotics will have these because, yeah.
No, I think they've come out and said that they're not going to include this on all the new exotics. This is kind of it's just kind of a niche thing at the moment. So I think that's good.
I missed a part of this conversation.
The random rolls on exotics. Now that we have two in the game, just what are your guys' thoughts on them?
I don't like them. I said that whenever the Hawkmoon came out with random. It's an exotic. It should stay an exotic. Whenever somebody thinks of an exotic, you know exactly what that gun's going to have. Leave it alone. Give it the best roll that it can get and leave it be.
Riz?
Here's the thing. I don't really know. Because I'm kind of in between. I get what Respawn's saying. It's an exotic is kind of what you're going to get with it. But at the same time, I've always kind of wanted to see like what it would like to have an exotic with its main general perk along with something that could really bump it up too. So I
exotics is most of the time when they build the exotic, they give it perks that balance well with itself.
Yeah.
So
like I get what you're saying, Respawn, but I'm in between. I think it's cool that they're adding things like they're adding other weapon perks, but at the same time, exotics are exotics because you know what you're getting. So I'm kind of in the middle for right now.
I mean, okay, perfect example. Yesterday when I got my first and only random roll of this gun, my random roll had less stability, less range, but more freaking handling than the default one that has no perk. Well, not no perks, but the default one that's not random rolled, right? So my random rolled was worse in the important categories than the one that I have that doesn't have random rolls. And
Sorry,
that's
what weapon is this?
The exotic scout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it had worse range and stability, but better handling. I'm like, what's the point, dude? It's just scout. You can give me worse in the two things that matter, right? So
I could probably understand a sniper for that stuff, but I'm not a scout. Just no.
Yeah, that's
stability.
Yeah, that's sort of my feeling too. Is like on an exotic, let me know what I'm going to get. The idea of farming, again, it's even if I had the time to play it like I used to, I'm not going to just farm for a gun over and over and over again like that. And because most of the rolls are going to be garbage.
But that's you.
Bad things, right? That's absolutely me. And I'm not saying I speak for me and me alone, and also Panoramics because we're the same person. But beyond that, I don't speak for anybody else. I just, I say I'll have a gun, I'll put it in the inventory. I'm not like it doesn't excite me now. Give me something that could do some business sweetly. Then maybe that might be interesting to me.
Oh my god, that is the only gun you ever care about. Other guns exist. I promise you.
And then I don't use that gun as nearly as often as I talk about it, but it's so much fun. It's so dumb and fun.
That, but there's other things, friend.
I think it's a good thing that these are in the game because it gives the players playability of replaying those missions if they want to get a different role of that weapon. Because Bungie have put a lot of time and effort into making those 2 select missions that we've got at the moment, and maybe there's going to be a 3rd and 4th coming up. Don't know, but that would be really interesting if they kind of do like, oh, here's one for the people that like hand cannons, here's one for the people that like scouts, here's the one for the people that like pulses, etc. So you've got kind of one in maybe about in all the kind of different variations of weapons, but these are the ones that you can kind of farm and replay the mission. So they haven't wasted the time and effort into building these missions, a bit like we had with the 0 Hour and the Whisper mission. You went back through it because there were other things that you could do in those missions. You could get the catalyst for those missions, you could get secret ships, you could get secret emblems. There are other things that people wanted to explore. So there's a reason why people need to go back into it. And if you think back with Destiny 1, with the exotics that we got in Destiny 1, you could select what perks you wanted on those weapons. I mean, for example, with your Hawkmoon, you had different barrel perks on the exotic hand cannon. You had accurized ballistics, you had field choke, and you had aggressive ballistics. You had your luck in your chamber, but then you could either have hammer forge rifling, quick draw, or speed reload, and then you've got your holding aces perk. So that was a kind of one and done thing. You got it, but then you could mix and match with how that weapon performed and how you could play to your own, how you could tailor it to how you had your own play style. So I see this as very similar, but it's just getting people to replay the missions to get those what they actually desire. And if you get it on the first drop, good play to you. But there are other reasons to go back into those missions, like we've got coming up with this latest one, that there are other secrets that can be explored. The same with the Hawk Moon mission. There were triumphs to do it solo and flawless. There were triumphs to do it this and that. So there are reasons to go back into it, and I see that's a good reason why you've got the random perks on there. And as Bungie said, it's not going to be for every exotic weapon. So
Replayable content's never a bad thing. Giving people something to chase is never a bad thing.
Fair.
No.
For both.
So speaking of reprised content, should we talk about the reprised guns that we've got coming back for the Iron Banner this week?
Absolutely not. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
So we've got the multi-match CCX, which is the submachine gun, returning from the first year of Destiny 2 with the random rolls for the first time. And we have the Time-Worn Spire. And if you are searching for this on D2 Gunsmith or Light.gg, it is called the Time-Worn Spire. And this has some really good perks on there. It also has the new perk that's going to be available on these weapons. And I think it's only going to be available on just these two weapons, which I don't kind of get, because you need some kind of stability on these weapons. So they've got, Iron Reach. You gain plus 18 to your range, but you lose 36 in stability.
What?
Yeah.
What? What is that? That's a scout?
So now that we've given you a scout rifle, and now that we've made
sorry.
SMGs, or I'm sorry, yeah.
Oh, that's even worse, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
now that we've given you SMGs on a console you can actually use, we're going to give you a perk that makes it absolutely unusable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue. Go ahead. I want to hear what else they have. What is this called? I want to look it up too while you go through it. What's this called?
The Time-Worn Spire.
The Time-Worn Spire.
So it's a 540 RPM, so it's one of the really fast firing ones, a bit like the Claws of the Wolf, the Grasp of Malak. Really good fast firing. So you need a bit of stability on these things, because otherwise it's going to shoot off all over the place. So I've kind of done a quick build on the D2 Gunsmith website, and probably one of the best ones that I was looking at is for the scope. Red dot micro will give you plus 9 to range. You then also, it can have ricochet rounds, it has high caliber, it has armor piercing, flared magwell, but I'm probably going to go with ricochet for the range and stability. And then I was thinking, in the next perk column, you've got feeding frenzy, which is pretty cool. You've got quick draw, moving target, under pressure, slideways, and subsistence. So either subsistence or feeding frenzy. Feeding frenzy would be good if you get that new perk, or no, not the new perk, one of the older new perks on there. So if you've got feeding frenzy with iron grip, because iron grip massively improves weapon stability at the cost of reload speed. So you could negate that if you had the feeding frenzy. So it bumps your range up. If you had the red dot micro, you could bump your range up to 46 and your stability up to 81 with a handling of 40, but your reload speed is 10. But if you get precision shots, or even if you get kills, actually, it's not precision, is it, with feeding frenzy? So each rapid kill progressively increases the reload time. So yeah, you could kind of really get a good Time-Worn Spire for that. It also has Rampage, Vorpal Weapon, One for All, which isn't really kind of a PvP perk, but PvE. The Iron Grip, Iron Gaze, which is the aim assistance 20, but minus 23 in range, and the new perk Iron Reach. So don't recommend that on the new weapons, to be fair. You don't really want that on a submachine gun at all, really, I don't think.
Yeah, what do you guys like the Iron Banner? Like, I was excited to hear they were bringing us like Iron Banner exclusive perks, but I'm not sure the ones they've brought us and the guns they roll on were worth it.
Well, I mean, I looked on D2 Gunsmith because I was thinking, well, if that new perk comes out, is there something that would, in the other perk slots that would really bump up that stability so that you don't notice it as much? Maybe you could. Maybe you could control the stability even if you had that perk on. The range goes up to 64, with the ricochet rounds and the microdot sight, you could kind of maybe control it at 27 stability, but I'm guessing not as much. But that's the main reason I looked at it. I thought, what's this new perk do? And could you negate some of that with some of the other perks? I don't think you can as much.
It just seems like a weird, like, I don't know. The perks seem like a good idea, but it just doesn't seem like they were thought out. Or I don't know. It's like we have these perks, we should put them on things, but they didn't think that hard about which perks go where. I don't know.
I'm sure that's good for something somewhere in their mind, but I don't know if anyone's been able to see it yet.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, because I think what they normally do is that these perks drop on these weapons for the first Iron Banner of the season, and then as the next couple of Iron Banners come into the rotation, they then drop on the other weapons. So maybe it might be useful on some of the other weapons that are still in the rotation.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So Iron Banner and Bonus Valor begins at 9 a.m. PST on February 23rd, running through to 9 a.m. on the March the 2nd.
I do appreciate how they're finally like going, hey, we're going to give you a PvP activity. Let's give you Valor with it, as opposed to being like Triple Infamy this week, guys, and Iron Banner.
But trip. Never mind. I was going to say, but Triple Infamy, but I just had a stroke, so ignore me.
I mean, that's all I'm playing this week is Iron Banner, because there's Iron Banner and more Iron Banner. And all those Crucible bounties and challenges are like, go kill people in Crucible. That's what we're here for.
No, I'll tell you what we are here for. Peroty's Player Support Report.
We are. The PSR, as Bungie apparently is calling it now. In its
but we call it the PPSR.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
You should.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it is now.
Oh, okay. It is now. Shut up. Yeah, all right, cool.
If you didn't get the script, I can't help you. Also, there's no script. Yeah. So I'm glad you guys spent your time in the Presage mission this week, getting your pinnacle weapon. Unfortunately, we're investigating an issue with causing the pinnacle reward to drop as a powerful reward instead. This issue will be resolved in a future update.
So used to hearing that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, carry on.
I'm sorry, because I'm used to, whenever I hear the podcast, I'm so used to hearing that little like music that Nitedemon puts in the background. So for me, it's kind of weird not to hear it. Sorry, keep going.
Wait. You don't hear it? You guys hear it?
It's not there?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I
don't know. I'm like half deaf, so hold on. Give me a second.
You two are so cruel.
Hey, when Respawn invites people over the show randomly, they become the targets for fun and games.
He's not wrong. Take Joker for last week.
Yeah, see that's how we show our love around here. We're also going to migrate our help center. So earlier today, well, not today, but 2 days ago as we record, all content guides, error code articles, troubleshooting pages, and all of the help center content previously hosted on Bungie.net was migrated to a new service. You can still continue to find it at help.bungie.net, but it's living on a different server somewhere where there's green pastures and open skies and lovely view of the traveler. So it's much happier now. It'll look different. There might be some broken links. They'll fix it. Go to the help forum, assuming you can navigate there to tell them about the issues with the new help forum. How's that for a snake eating itself?
Yeah.
This was hard. Computers are tough. Bungie would like to thank the teams to help make this happen. Yay. We have mislabeled exotic ornaments. Last week, the following exotic ornaments were removed from the Eververse store due to an issue causing them to display incorrect exotic armor pieces that they applied to. Also, Peroty cannot read, but that's not a new issue. That's been a new issue.
Definitely
existing bug, we will not be fixing it in a future patch. There's no hope for him. So,
aware of the situation, take a drink.
So, just to review, though, the Titan 14th Anamnesis. Almost, yeah, that one. Hey, look at him. You're hired.
Right?
Yeah, your Helmet 14 armor, your Warlock ornament for the Ophidian aspects, and the Hunter's Mantle of Remembrance ornament for the Shinoba's Vow. Yeah, they're so broken. We're actively working on providing silver refunds to players who purchase these ornaments in Season of the Chosen and were affected by the issue. And they'll provide more information as it becomes available. Doesn't seem like it. So I guess if you bought the ornament thinking it would go for work on a different thing than it actually does, they'll refund you. Good. Bright Dust Challenge rewards. We're currently investigating an issue resulting in some players not receiving their Bright Dust rewards for completing weekly challenges in Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard. They'll give you the Bright Dust in a future update like they did last time this happened. You'll know when it happens because they'll tell us in the 12, and we'll tell you on the podcast. And
you'll see a lot more Bright Dust in your inventory.
Yeah, and then you'll be like, oh, Bright Dust, and now I can buy more emotes and dance.
Yo, that's good.
Known issues. We have so many known issues. Reading is just the least of them this week. We also have several new items missing their lore tabs. So if you're trying to read lore tabs and they're just not there, it's not you. They're gone.
I saw that bug on one of my quests, and I was so confused.
Yeah, well, there are several. I don't know which of them, but several.
Yeah, I don't even remember which one it was.
There are so many.
I'm assuming Bungie has a list. If you're trying to go to the Jetsam of Saturn, Archer's Line on the Moon, or the EDZ outskirts, your game may crash. Just don't go there.
Good to know.
The Chosen Destruction focused Umbral Engrams cannot be used to focus Umbral Engrams once completed. Useful. The anti-barrier scout rifle mod behaves inconsistently with certain scout rifles.
Excellent.
There is a sentence that I have so many questions about.
Say it again, so the viewers can understand. About viewers, I mean me.
Right. So you've got your anti-barrier scout rifle mod this season.
Yeah.
It's going to behave inconsistently on certain scout rifles.
So how the ambulance ones are not working with it? What's going on?
Certain just like several lore tabs, there are certain scout rifles. So if your anti-barrier scout rifle is not working, choose a different scout rifle because apparently certain ones are misbehaving inconsistently. Player benefiting modifiers in the Battlegrounds playlist are not correctly counting bonuses. The Tiku's Divination Catalyst quest does not progress with explosive kills from the weapon.
Oh.
So don't get explosion kills on the weapon. And I'm assuming that means the aim down sights to make all of your arrows into one big one that explodes, so hip fire to freedom. There is no indication of the weekly challenge available to
FYI, Peroty, just so you know, you can hip fire and still explode, right? The flaming arrows basically proc the target to explode when it dies. The sighting in just makes them detonate early, but if your hip fire kills the target, it still blows up.
So either way, the quest is going to take you much longer than it should.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
And there's still no indication of the weekly challenge available to Helm. Still. Players may receive online privileges pop up when they attempt to load into Battleground Hailstone with all fire. Let's start that again.
Stroke.
Players get the online privileges pop up if they attempt to load into the Battleground Hailstone with a fire team member who has not yet completed the Beyond Light introductory mission. There we go. Words.
Good job.
Players are only able to reset their Valor and Infamy ring a limited number of times.
Okay.
So, how many? A limited number. Less than 1 trillion. The Good Company Gilded Triumph may not progress if players are killed, and thus not in good company. The door in the Hollow Layer Strike sometimes doesn't open, resulting players having to abort the strike. Okay, I ran into this one too, so if you're running the Hollow Layer Strike, sometimes you just can't. And
Which door is it?
The door.
The door. Thank you, Peroty.
I honestly don't remember which door it was. I want to say
Door number 1 or door number 2?
I think it was like when you're in the tunnel going into basically like the strike itself, but I don't remember off the top of my head because I was not paying full attention. Because I also ran into the issue with the Fanatic just never wanting to end the time gate. I was in there with our third player had left, and there were just the two of us in with a Fanatic, and he just was immune and never went into his whole I'm going to pull you toward me to then let you do damage again. He was just immune, throwing lightning at us, filling the entire world with lightning, and didn't feel like progressing at all. So not on the list, just a bug I ran into this week. And those are our known issues. If you have new ones or think you've run into one, go to the known issues article on the help forum. We'll put the links to the show notes so you can't read them.
So with that whole scout rifle thing, they didn't happen to give us a list of which ones it's being buggy with, did they? It's just for our discretion to find out.
No, certain ones.
That's not a list.
It only says certain scout rifles on the thing. It doesn't say specifically which ones.
No, they certainly did not.
Okay, that's awesome.
Now, were I a better reporter, I could actually go to this known issues page and see if there's a list. But I'm guessing it's just some of them.
Yeah,
we've not tested every scout rifle in the game because there are many of them, and some of them are not working right.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so good to know. Yeah, so that's our report. Now we have movies and artwork, and it's all beautiful. And there's a beautiful Titan holding motes, which is clearly just incorrect because Titans cannot hold motes in Gambit. That is not a thing that happens.
Well, you
It's a
can't
beautiful,
hold
but it's an absolute
your
flop.
hands are permanently sealed in the shape of a fist. I heard from a friend.
Yeah, it's very hard to pick up motes that way.
Yeah.
You can only pick up like 2 at a time. So now, do we have a report, some sort of roundup from a man with a name that starts with R?
I'm assuming not me.
RYZNYZ.
Original?
Yeah. I am very ill prepared for this.
Yeah, well, you're perfect. You're just as prepared as Respawn is. Respawn reports.
So DMG, in case you hadn't noticed, mark all as seen. So what he's trying to say is whenever you go to your collections tab, how you have a bunch of crap in your elections tab, or collections, not elections, there is now an option to hold F and mark all as being seen. So if you have, like, for example, if you reset your artifact and you know how you go and get everything again and all those things show up as new in your inventory, well, now you just hold down the F and it marks them all as being seen, so it stops flashing and annoying you if that's something that
Where's
bothers you.
F on my controller?
Yeah,
Hey, that's the screenshot. That's not PC. That's the screenshot you sent me, okay?
You have to take the F. You have to take the F and sort of move it around to make it look more like an X if you're on the Xbox.
It's an X.
Or it's some sort of shape, parallelogram.
Yeah, you'll get it.
It's square, isn't it, on PlayStation?
I don't know. They have shapes.
I think it's triangle at the top, X on the right, square on the left, and circle at the bottom.
If it's the same button layout as for Xbox and
You
PlayStation, I'm pretty sure it's the one button that's on the left.
Hold on.
I appreciate that we have this conversation, and I love all of you.
No, I've got one in front of me.
That
Triangle top, X bottom, circle on right, and square on the left.
all right. So press circle. Dang it! Press square or F, or really just mouse over the thing on the collections, and it will say "View them" or "Mark all as seen." And this pleases me because I can't tell you. Like I enjoy making notifications go away. And the fact that it's
so do I.
always there, I'm happy that I can do that. And no, I had not noticed. So thank you, DMG. Thank you, Respawn, DMG, for telling me.
Got it. So Livy, a.k.a. the Kilted Titan, I guess Mida isn't going to get sunset anytime soon then. The picture he's describing shows the Mida multi-tool. You know how when you look at a weapon, it tells you the maximum light it can be? Well, this one's maximum light looks to be, it's a little blurry, but it looks to be about 400,000, give or take a bit.
9. It's 99999.
Is it all 9?
Actually,
all right. Okay.
Is it actually?
So, yeah, it's all 9.
Oh my gosh.
Cosmo replied, looks like a bug. Thanks for the report. So for all those that were worried about your Mida mini tool going away, you're in luck. You have 999,999 light before it gets expired. We're aware of a bug. This is from Bungie Help. We're aware of a bug that may cause players to receive more bright engrams than intended after reaching Season Pass rank 100. This will be resolved in an upcoming hotfix on February 18th, and today is the 20th, so that's in the know.
That hotfix was cancelled.
Was it?
The one that we told you about last week. It's now going to go live when, Respawn?
According to the next slide, if you read further, it says
Yep.
as a result of this issue, hotfix 3.1.0.1 will now go live on Tuesday, February 23rd. So about the day this podcast comes out. Bungie Help also said, due to an unforeseen issue, tomorrow's Bungie.net maintenance has been canceled until further notice. Cool. Do any of you guys on Xbox notice that when you load into, I've noticed it primarily during the Battlegrounds, but every now and again on a strike, your screen just seizes for a while. Like you can't do anything. It almost looks like your game has crashed, and then it stays like that for like 10, 15 seconds, and then it starts.
What,
I've
black
never
screen?
had that happen to me.
Really?
No, never
Yeah.
seen that. It does
Interesting.
completely mess with my brain that they changed the weapon switching animation, because it used to sort of, I don't know what it is, but like before the season drop, like when you just switch weapons that you had active, it was sort of like, I think they would both animate, and now like just one of them animates, so it's like the same animation as putting something into your vault, and it messes with me every single time this season.
I don't know what you're talking about, Peroty.
Oh, well, it's just me having a stroke then. Carry on.
Maybe your Xbox is just so slow it lagged and you had both weapons out at the same time, but that's not intended.
It does explain why I am able to dual wield. That would make sense, yes.
Hey, wait, you guys can't hold a shotgun and a pulse at the same time? What the hell's wrong with y'all?
You mean these 3 exotics I have on is not supposed to be the way this works? No, I don't believe you.
I've got a couple of
Yo,
apologies
I
I'd
won't-
like to make for statements I made last week. So I do
Ooh.
apologise. So I made a mistake when I said that the engram that you get from completing 3 battlegrounds was a tier 1. It is in fact a tier 2 engram, and then at 6 battlegrounds it's still a tier 2, and then at 9 it's a tier 3. And then I also said that the exotics that you got last season from the Lost Sectors, so the helmets and the gauntlets that were available in the exotics that you could probably get from Xur and just random well drops. That isn't true either. I
Yeah,
do apologise.
batten-
They are
batten
only
you
still
out of
available
thousand,
all still just in the Lost Sectors. So I guess there's a good reason to still do those Lost Sectors.
And here's a chance at redemption. Say I'm a Titan who wants
You're
to
a
live Telesto, and have it generate orbs. I know I can get them from the Lost Sectors. Do they have to be legendary? And do I have to run them solo? Or can I run them with a friend?
That's actually a good question.
Doesn't-
I would know that
On those
too.
Lost Sectors, it doesn't say that you can't run it with a friend, because you still get the infusion material. You just don't get a chance at the exotics. The exotics only come from doing the solo run. It doesn't say anything about the catalysts.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to figure out. Because I mean, I'm still at like 1285 or so light level, and stepped foot into one of those at 1300, and they said, "No, right now, sir, you are not welcome." So I
Saying
think
that,
next week I should be able to at least step foot in there, and if it's worth, I don't want to bang my head against the wall for no chance at the Telesto Catalyst, but I would like to at least have a chance at it. And it was unclear to me how I should go about doing this.
Saying that, I did a Lost Sector this week. It was when the chess pieces were coming up, and it was the one on Europa where you go down inside and there's loads of Vex everywhere. There's a Vex Harpy that you have to Hydra, sorry, a Vex Hydra that you have to kill, and loads of Harpies around it. And then as you go further up the stairs around the corner, there's those Wyverns and a big Minotaur at the back. So in that one, I did it absolutely perfect on the Xbox Series X. There was no issue with that. But then I got pushed off that Xbox, so I decided I'll go and play on my
Literally Xbox One X.
Xbox One X. That's the one.
Not so lowly. I'm on the 1S.
And I found that I struggled to even get past the first barrier champion with the same weapon loadouts on a different character, but they were higher power level than the character that I'd already kind of run the mission through. But it was just trying to get the constant hits on the barrier champion to stop them from recharging. And I was using the Tikus with the mod, and it was hitting them and stunning them. But then, for some reason, I was just constantly proccing. It was just me versus the barrier champion. There was no other enemies, and this guy was just non-stop relentless in chasing me down and killing me. And all I can think about is because of the frame difference between the Xbox and the Series X are completely different. That's the only thing I can think of, is the fact that I was using the same weapons, same loadout, even a higher power character, but I was struggling to get past the first barrier champion. And maybe that's an issue that other people are having on the consoles, is that, if you haven't got the frames to kind of get the arrows stuck into that barrier champion to stop him, it's so that's why I was so saying it was a bit interesting that you found it a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely something I knew going in. I knew going in 20 points down, was going to be hard. Like, I didn't think I was going to walk through it, and I think Pan was a little bit lower than that, maybe another 5 points below me. But it was just it wasn't even. We said maybe this is worth a try. Then immediately decided no, this is not worth a try. I ran some higher level Nightfalls instead. But yeah, it's I'm really curious. Just sort of I appreciate the perspective of just the different Xboxes. Like, even when we play Trials together, just how that experience. Because I've been curious how that experience is going to play out in the real world on things.
Oh, well, I can give you another Trials experience, because after we kind of did our thing and we recorded the podcast last week, I should have been editing this podcast on the Monday, but I decided to take time out because I was that hungry to get the messenger. I thought, I'm going to give it another couple of tries.
You missed the lighthouse. I wanted to see it.
I didn't go to the lighthouse. We managed to get 3 wins on all 3 characters, and I got the engram. So I managed to get enough tokens to buy another one to get another messenger. So I got 7.
Well done.
None of them had the perk that I wanted.
Which
but
one?
The Desperado one, yeah.
Oh,
So, since you brought that up, Pale Rider, one of the PC crew, our main Raider guys, right? He and I jumped on Trials and just grabbed a couple of random thirds, and we got 3 wins, we got 5 wins, we got multiple cards won. No flawless, but point is we were able to get many scout rifles. I think I got 6 different rolls, coins and drops totaled. And he told me very specifically, hey, Respawn, be sure to tell those plebs on Xbox that we managed to get you your 3 wins so you can get your scout rifle when they struggled all day to get you there. End quote. So
we said nothing about getting you wins.
No, we never said anything about that.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. No,
I'm just the messenger. Don't yell at me.
So just to be clear, we promised you nothing of the sort. We said we're going to go play this for an hour and a half until we lose enough games to finish that bounty. That was all. That was all you were promised, sir.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is when I went to PC, I did significantly better. So I'm going to need y'all to either push Bungie to do crossplay, or y'all need to get PC so that I can perform at my maximum, gentlemen. Okay?
Just
On the topic of crossplay, have they released a time date for when that's going to come out?
This year. That's all we know.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know they said this year. I just didn't know if they meant
this
sometime
year.
within the next week, sometime within the next 6 months.
Oh no!
Next year.
And I would guess by December 31st. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
This is
December
going to be
31st.
Yeah. And I would
59 crossplay released.
Yeah, no, I would assume they're going to release it in some sort of limited way first or something, because all hell will break loose if they don't.
Oh, yeah. Want to be a fly on that wall.
Don't forget Transmognet season.
Transmognet.
Yeah.
Ooh, is it next season so soon?
Next season. Anyway, I'd like to give a shout out to the 2 Guardians that helped me get my 3 wins on all my characters. So I've got Kaz, You're Cute, and the Assassin 2. I'd just like to say thank you very much to. We had really good fun playing and doing quite well, actually. We didn't push it to go to our 5 wins because we weren't that bothered. We just wanted to get the messenger. But they were really good. I think I was about 30 years older than both of them, which
that's why they have the reflexes.
They had the reflexes. And again, I saw some of the juddering that I was experiencing with you guys, trying to land a headshot, and it was kind of the opposite player was juddering out of the way. But again, I think Kaz was from Canada, and the assassin was somewhere in America, so we were kind of all spread out.
Yep.
So that could have been something to do with it.
Multi-continental trials, the best way to do it.
Yeah.
No.
But they were quicker at shotgunning than me.
Yeah, it isn't everyone. I mean, not you, but me too. Sometimes I will know what I have to do, but the fingers are not as fast as the brain goes. Oh, I saw you coming, but I'm still dead.
Yeah. I wish I knew how to clip things on Twitch though, because I
So Riz, you've managed to get on the show,
No,
and you've hardly done any talking. So is there any topics that you'd like to discuss while you are here?
Say no.
Say no.
Did you just want to bask in Nitedemons' greatness? That's the real question. Hear his
Say no.
voice live.
Yep.
If I said yes, would
I
any
don't
of you guys be offended?
Yes.
Not at all.
Only him.
Respawn would and respawn doesn't count.
Just say you want it to bask in his glory, and he'll be happy and won't hassle you.
There you go.
Why not all three of you? Is that
Yeah.
or all four of you? I should consider Arv too.
Arf isn't here, so you can't count that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Actually, I was going to ask. I'm assuming it sounds like he's not going to be showing up this week.
He might. Sometimes he pops in and out.
Okay.
Arf comes, Arf goes, but you cannot currently get bask in his glory.
I was
Okay.
going to say, Arf this week is going to be featured on the Guardian Down podcast.
Good
Don't
for
know whether
him.
he's going to give them some lore or anything, or if he's just going along for a little chat. So when that drops this week, go and check him out.
All right.
He's gonna ask him to join his crew. Maybe they'll accept him as one of their own.
I mean, they do need a third. They're the last hold. There's only the two of them still. So I mean, clearly they need to have a British guy really helps the show. I'm just saying.
Are they trying to steal our Arf? Hold on. I need to go talk to those guys. I'll be right back.
Sorry, Rose. So yes, is there anything that you wanted to discuss?
Not really. No, I can't think of anything. I'm just here along for the ride.
So are you happy with the game? Happy where it's going? Happy
I
for
am.
different things?
No, I think Destiny's doing great right now. Like, despite what people are thinking of it right now, I think Destiny's doing really good.
How often do you play Destiny? Is it like a daily game, or is it kind of once or twice a week?
Well, I mostly play like Fridays and Saturdays because I have school that kicks my butt a lot, and I try to focus on that before I focus on the secondary parts of my life.
No, that is a good thing. You've got to focus
So
on
yeah,
school.
so like I'll play on like Fridays and Saturdays for maybe like I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours altogether on those days.
Yeah.
Like so I know what's happening in the game. I know the big things that are happening, but I'm not a daily player. Sorry.
So do you find that even at the weekend you get enough time to actually do everything you want to do, or everything that Bungie have kind of set in front of you to do for that week? Or do you find it a struggle?
I'm kind of in between because things like the presage, however, the new scout rifle mission, like if I know where I'm going, I know where I have to go, like route and everything. I think I can do pretty well, but like, well, I also feel like I can talk forever. So if I go too far,
No, it's fine.
You can tell me to shut up. But
Someone
like
shut
for
up.
me, yeah. Well, there we go.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
No, yeah, you're good. But like for me, it kind of depends on what they put out. Like if they put out like a new quest like this, I would normally be able to get it within the couple hours that I play each week.
Yeah.
Like when they post like the new seasonal challenges, I probably get maybe 2, maybe 3 done a week, including all the stuff I normally do. So like I always have something to do. Sometimes I have more, sometimes I have less, but I usually get enough time to play.
Yeah. Sorry, Respawn, what were you going to say?
Nothing. I was completely zoned out.
No, you were going to ask a question just now.
He has no recollection of this ever happening.
Yeah, I know. I'm the here and now kind of guy. Remember, if I don't say it, it goes away.
So what's your kind of favourite loadout for your character?
Well, I kind of vary. I go from like I'm in a scout rifle phase right now, so I'm really enjoying Royal Chase, even though it's not that high of a level on my character right now.
Yeah.
But like I've been really rocking the Lament, and shout out to AZ because he actually helped me finish that quest last week. But like I finished that, and I can now that I have it, I can totally see why people are like falling in love with this weapon. Like I use it in the battlegrounds when I have to fight against the mini bosses and the champions and stuff like that.
Still, really?
Yeah, well, mostly just because I've never used it before, so I might as well use it for the time I've lost in the past season.
You're the honeymoon phase. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm in that.
Spoiler: good sword is still good.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is still pretty good.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm currently running on. I found a mod that gave me 7th Seraph would create Warmind cells, so I'm currently running on 7th Seraph Carbine, the 7th Seraph VY7, and the Lament for my loadouts.
Do you have the Aikilo shotgun version 1.0.2?
I don't think I do. Is that a kinetic or an energy?
It's actually a solar-based shotgun, and I find it works really well with the Warmind builds.
So that would
Get
be
it from the
energy
dungeon.
to answer your question.
Was it the one that was Sunset? Because I'm looking at my collection.
No,
and I
that's
see the
version 1. Version 1.
Oh, okay.
Get it from the
Sunset.
dungeon, the 9 dungeon.
Yeah.
Prophecy.
That's the one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't do dungeons that often, mostly just because I can't find anyone who had the patience to do it with me.
You're
But
on
yeah, I'll have
Xbox.
to. Yeah, I'm on the older Xbox, so I can see why people don't want to. But I will have to check that out. Thank you.
I can help you out. As long as there's nothing happening on PC, I do not mind jumping on Xbox as long as it's the same state I'm in. So
yeah, you're good.
Respawn will lower himself to play on Xbox every now and again.
I wouldn't say lower. Come on, man.
More like
Jeez,
step
dude.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. There's definitely a lot of weapons that have kind of really started to shine even in this season with the changes that they've made, like the Huckleberry, like the Terriber. The submachine guns are now kind of where they've changed the stability on those things and the recoil.
Like submachine guns are making a pretty big comeback this season.
I mean, when we were struggling in trials last week, I put on the Terriber and I just went to town on my Titan. It was really good.
Yeah, I was killed by a Terrible in Crucible, and I have never seen that weapon since it's been out in the Crucible at all. It's like it's one of those things you heard about, but you never see anybody running it.
Yeah.
Hey, I've heard of you.
I remember you. You have a name and everything.
Right?
Are there any like YouTubers that you follow, or any like any kind of content creators that you think that should be worth a view that we don't already kind of highlight?
The thing is, I don't really get much on YouTube mostly because I try and focus on playing the game. Like I like to figure it out for myself. Like if there's a weapon that's good, I'll hear it from you guys or from the Frozen Clan Discord chat, and then if I have it, I'll take it and see if it's.
Did you just give us an accidental shout out? Good job, dude. Well done. Thank
you. But yeah, like I like to try and figure stuff out for myself. Now, if I am absolutely struggling to get something or get something done, I will absolutely hop on the internet and YouTube it or something. But yeah, as far as I know, there aren't very many YouTubers that I know of who. I'm sure plenty of them deserve shout outs. I just can't think of any.
No, I was just wondering if there was anybody that you actually liked. Like Respawn likes watching Kakis HD. But
actually, I watch him, but I don't like him. If I had to say I've told you guys many times, I prefer Fallout or Astacross.
Well, I was gonna say, how much of Cactus do you watch? Because if you watch quite a bit,
I do not.
All right.
So speaking of YouTube, I think it's about that time.
It is.
About.
Would you like to lead us into the tips, tricks, guides, and builds parody with some of the videos you selected this week?
Sure, we've got tips, tricks, builds, guides, all sorts of things. What do we have this week? What did I put into this list and go, these will be good? I'll hopefully remember what they are.
I like Respawn's first one.
The best rocket launcher to use?
Look at the one that Respawn's first chosen.
You can't make me. You're not my real dad.
What if he is? Plot twist!
I'm not sure the math works out on that, but sure, we'll go with it. The first video I found was from Pyro Gaming, which was to answer Respawn's question from last week. Which super does the most damage, and is Titan Missile the king now?
I told you. Still hunters.
And
But-
yeah, still hunters. Not by a ton. He did test a number of different supers and sort of averaged them out. So he did I think they ran something in Last Wish. I can't remember what the boss is because I've never run Last Wish.
Her name is Shirochi.
Honestly, I pulled up the video and it looked like the boss from Spire of Stars, and I was real confused for a second because I was like, "Wait a minute, this says it was done a week ago. Are you in the vault?" No. But anyway, he sort of did 3 tests of using the super 3 times, and sort of get an average of that super damage, and use the sort of post, like when you wipe, that post game report of how much damage did you do, because obviously there's no way to tell how much damage you did individually in the fight with everyone else pouring damage into. And the Golden Gun had about just shy of 220,000 damage. Thunder Crash with the new Curious of the Falling Star, 194,000, and Chaos Reach with Geomags, 184,000 damage. So hunters are still kings, but at least there is a decent option all 3 classes if you want to fling yourself headfirst at a raid boss to do some damage. Pyro Gaming has a breakdown with the numbers and sort of how he did the recording of the process. And if you're enjoying rocket launchers, I'm enjoying rocket launchers. You should also enjoy rocket launchers. Rostopoulos has his best legendary rocket launcher perks, part 2, Know the Data, where he goes over almost to a PhD degree of here's all the things you would want to know about rocket launchers and the perks and the things. And so if you want to deep dive on rocket launchers, go to Rostopoulos. He will tell you all the good things about all the rocket launchers.
Mm-hmm.
As Nitedemon already alluded to, we'll have Abby Hours in her link in the show notes about the tucked away Triumph guide for the smuggling compartments in the Presage not dungeon mission
quest.
Quest, Jumpy Puzzle Land. And it wouldn't be our show if we didn't say Fallout at least once and link a Fallout Plays video. In this case, his video on the solo legendary Lost Sector and how the Titan exotic is super broken, about the Thunder Crash being super Thunder Crashy, but more importantly, maybe not more importantly, but just as importantly,
no, more importantly,
in the notes of that video, he answers the question I have wanted to know all season and last season. So it's a Saturday afternoon. I'm going to get on. I've got some time. Where do I go and which Lost Sector and what is it giving me? Friends, he has put together a linked Google document that we'll link in the show notes, or at least we'll link his video in the show notes of farming this broken exotic right now. He has a link to a calendar of Lost Sectors. The day, the date, the level of the Lost Sector is at 1300 or 1330, where it is, and what the loot is for it. So if you're trying to get those gauntlets or trying to get that chess piece or the class you're chasing, you know where to go and what you have to do to get there. Then you can go back to Fallout's channel, look up a great video on how to do it solo or how to get it done, and now you know what you're actually trying to do. It's amazing. So thank you for this calendar. It's marvelous. And the last one I found is from the legend himself, which I got a good chuckle at. Because there are a lot of, S tier, A tier ranking videos of armor and weapons. Well, he has ranked Destiny complaints.
What?
He has rated the complaints about the game of Destiny on that same, A tier, B tier, S tier scale. And this is part 1 of the video. So apparently there's a part 2 coming. It's about the best 15 minutes you can spend of your week watching him going over the complaints about Destiny and rating them on a tier scale. So that's what I've got.
Seeing that video. Did you not post it?
I think I posted it.
You did, but you missed out the other one that you put in there. Pay to be famous.
Oh, there it is. I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, when Pay to Be Famous, you sort of talked about, just goes over I mentioned those earlier, just about the new elemental mods you can have that I didn't realize were in the game.
But he obviously puts more effort into it than I did, because he made a video.
He did, but I mean, you made a whole podcast. And he made a video where he talked for like 5 minutes. It may have taken him 6 hours to make that video, but we'll never know.
And knowing is half the battle.
So Respawn, tell us about a hand cannon you like.
Well, that's the second video I posted, not the first. And I don't personally like it.
What you like?
So the very first video I posted was about the shotguns, right? And it's Rich Cactus, whatever the hell nickname he comes out with every week.
Cactus HT.
It says it's the new S+ tier shotgun you need to get, and it goes over the Moon shotgun, whose name I can't be bothered to remember.
Blasphemer.
And he's comparing it to the Raid shotgun, which all in all, he's got some good points as far as like longevity of ammo retainment, right? But other than that, I mean, the Raid shotgun, if you have reconstruction and any damage perk, it's going to do you well, right? But if you can't get into the raid, or you can't do the raid for whatever reason, farm the Moon for this shotgun, because it is a very close, very good second option. They are both slug shotguns. They both do extra precision damage, and they both have very good ammo economy. So you can't get one
comparable.
No, the rolls are not comparable. Okay. In order for you to get anywhere near the same DPS as the Raid shotgun, you got to get Swashbuckler, and you have to proc Swashbuckler with all 5, and then utilize the 4th times the charm perk to keep those rounds getting magazine, and you have to have a larger magazine. There's a lot of things that you have to get on this shotgun for reconstruction on the Raid shotgun, right? So like I said,
so you're talking it's a PvE kind of weapon.
It is a PvE kind of weapon. You could also use it for PvP. PvP is good. I'm sorry, slug shotguns apparently are pretty good in PvP right now. You could use it there, but you'll also get outranged by the Chaperone and the exotic shotgun we got last season, whose name I can't remember. But yeah, you could take it if you want. Up to you. The second video is regarding, like we said, the palindrome. It's by my dude Astacross, and he's basically talking about all the different roles on the palindrome. There's a bunch of different roles to look out for. One of the main ones he's talking about is, of course, quick draw with rangefinder, and something to increase stability and range. Right. So there's a whole bunch that goes into that video. I don't want to spoil it. Take a look at it. It's a good video, especially if you like palindrome, especially if you play D1 and you like the idea of a D1 palindrome. Take a look at it. It's good to know. So that's all I had. I didn't know we were contributing this week. So.
Doesn't he say in that video that he struggled with rangefinder on it?
Did he?
Yeah, I'm sure he said that some people might struggle with rangefinder because of the cones or the accuracy on it.
Oh, okay.
It's very tight, I think he said.
My child was screaming in the morning, so I may have missed that part. But if he did, he did. But like I said, there's a few different roles on there that you can look out for.
Okay, cool. Well, I've picked a couple of videos for you to kind of have a perusal over. I'm going to start with Fallout Plays because he did a really good in-depth video on Whispers of Torment fragment and why it's so strong, and how quickly you can generate grenades. And I didn't know, I wasn't fully aware of this, that you could stand in a Titan barricade that isn't your own and it won't kill you. It will take you down to the slither of health that you could get one shot or even just like scratched and die. But the Titan barricade will not kill you if you stand in it. It will constantly proc the Whispers of Torment, which then generates the grenade energy really, really fast. But he goes over some really good and interesting facts about this new fragment that you can get and put on your armor.
So you tell me want to get low health, stand behind your barricade, and you get mad grenade energy back from doing so.
Well, no, he said like in certain situations, you're in trials, you've killed the opposite team, you haven't got your grenade energy, but there's a Titan barricade just sitting there. He said, just go and walk into it, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. You've got your grenade for the next round. So he said there's a lot of good things for this.
Enemy Titan barricade, you mean?
Yes, an enemy Titan barricade.
You said not yours. I was assuming friendly Titan barricades that were not yours.
No.
You're talking enemy barricades.
Enemy barricade. But yeah, there's like, he shows you with the like different weapon types as well. So like a high-powered sniper rifle compared to an auto rifle, how much kind of energy you get back from like chip damage to like a headshot damage, and how quickly it works with other exotics as well. So definitely worth a watch. And then a rumor that was going around the community this week that I heard was that the Dragonfly spec is working with the what's that symbol?
Chain
The
reaction.
nuclear symbol. Chain reaction. To
This
the
is
point that it was even on the DCP podcast that people were mentioning it, and then Miss 5000 Watts pointed out that Errol, as I'm going to do, did a video completely, abolishing that idea of it working with Dragonfly. It doesn't do any extra damage. It doesn't work at all. But he goes over some interesting facts with the Salvager's Salvo, which is the new grenade launcher that you can get from doing the quests. And then Esoteric has all 5 clues in the Presage mission. These are all the different locations for the scannable things that you can get. So there are 5 scannables in there for the Figment of an Answer Triumph, which goes alongside the Abbey Hour one. And then to go along with the Fallout Plays one that Peroty highlighted, Cool Guy goes over why you want the Omni Oculus chess piece for the hunters, the hidden perks / bug that it makes the ability a spam king. So there are several different things that you can do with your smoke grenades and being on all the different trees for the Void Hunter that make this a really good S tier, even in PvP. This just looks amazing. The things that you can do by dodging and smoke bombing and various different things on yourself and on allies, and it gives you distances of where you need to be to do different things. It looks amazing. It was the one exotic chess piece that I missed out on getting this week from the Lost Sector. I will try when it comes up again next week. And then the last one, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, was Mano Destra 777 does Dead Man's Tale, Prestige, Solo Flawless, and Cheeses. He goes over all the different tips in there with some of the locations. Actually, I'm lying. It's not the last one. I did want to highlight Froggy this week because he did a glitch where he glitched into the Presage mission and go round and show you where all the different locations for the hidden caches are via him glitching on the top of the map, basically. But he shows you a screenshot of where they are in the actual mission as well as where they are in the actual locations of how to get there, basically. And I think that's it. It's gone really dark here. I haven't turned the light on and I can't read my bit of paper.
And I guess that's it.
Yep. That's all you get, buddy. That's
Oh,
all
no, we
anybody
did.
ever gets.
We did have an email.
Nope, you don't.
No, Respawn, you want to hear this? You want to hear this?
I think so when you get that excited, I don't want to hear it.
No, Respawn, you want to hear this one. So we had an email from Xavier Contado. Xavier Contado. Respawn, I think you're right about hunters. And Joker was correct too. That's it. That's all we got. He just wanted to make you aware that you're right about hunters and Joker was also correct.
Okay. Now I got to go back and review my own podcast. Find out what the hell he's talking. Because, I mean, of course I'm right, but why am I right?
It happened to a lot of the people.
And
just know that you're right.
CJ Woodwork, I'm guessing that CJ Woodwork, he asked the question that Peroty asked earlier, but I'm guessing that Peroty didn't realise that he was asking the question. Hey guys, just wondering what your opinions are on the new exotic Dead Man's Tale random rolls. Now I know we had the Hawkmoon have random rolls, but the word on the street is that Destiny 2 will begin to incorporate this a lot of the new exotics later on. Can you imagine grinding an exotic for later raids that you finally get and it's
yeah, I can.
And perhaps use this in PvP and PvE. I think Respawn's covered his thoughts on that. I think we covered the thoughts on what's actually happening with the exotics. He says he knows Respawn would be, and he was. You called it. You know, I think Respawn, you're getting a bit more predictable these days in your old age. And I think that was it. I think that was it. Yeah.
It may have very well been it.
That feels like it then.
That does feel like it. Unless Riz has anything else that he'd like to add before we kick him off the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Podcast.
Yeah, I have nothing.
So before we move into phase 2, the podcast after show, the super top secret one that I've just made up seconds ago.
Yep.
Super secret.
All right. Well, Riz, Nitedemon, Respawn, Ghost of Not Arf, thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty of Nitedemon. Your Hunter is no one responds in real life. Your Lore Scribe, who really is on the podcast this week, so he's abandoned us, is Not Arf. RYZNYZ has been your guest of the week. Who will be here next week? Who knows? We don't even know until the show starts, so find out with us. You can go to twotitansandahunter at hotmail.com. You can find the show on Twitter, @2titans_hunter. We're on Instagram and Facebook, and really just put 2 Titans and a Hunter into a search box on the internet. You'll find us. You can find all your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live and Respawn on PC, and Xbox when he slums it with us. You can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. And, the music in Zepic's Prime, still good, still headbanging, still can't shoot well. So enjoy chasing your exotic rolls, enjoy your hand cannons, because guess what? There will be even more hand cannons. Say goodbye, guys, until next week.
Deuces.
Bye.
Hasta luego.
I really should. I think I should have put in there somewhere that I apologise for the audio quality of Joker last week, because he sounded absolutely fine for us, didn't he, when we were recording?
Yeah.
There was no issue. I went back several times and re-downloaded just his audio. Everything was just horrible about it. It just
Weird. So this is also our pre-apology to you if the show comes
Riz,
out.
I'm sorry.
Decides that you're not to be heard. It happened.
No, dude, you are totally good. I often make the absolute fool out of myself when I talk. So if anything, that could be a blessing in disguise.
Not whether or not you make a fool of yourself, but
That's what this entire show is based around, us making fools of ourselves. I don't know what you thought you were getting yourself into.
Yeah. Not professional. Well, anything, really.
Yeah, Nitedemon, it sounds like you're going to have a harder time with Respawn's audio than mine.
You know what?
I heard that line. That was the first clear sentence I've gotten from you in a while.
So how did you find us, Riz?
I think I had just gotten into podcasts because I just finished a Star Wars one, and I was just like, you know what? I'm in a